Ethan Klein drama going back again, and those fucking bread tubers. Like I didn't know what bread tuber was.
I was barely familiar with it. Like, yeah, I found out very recently.
Yeah, it's like the people that basically are begging online for money all the time.
Yeah, they're communists who beg for money.
That's hilarious. Oh my god, it's like...
Dude, it's super fucking amazing. It
I heard
really
some...
is.
Oh man, what was the most retarded... Because I was just... That reminded me because, like, it's such a retarded take. Like, that they're communists begging for money. But,
It
there was
really
some
is.
retard last night talking about how people were kidnapping people in LA. Like, it's such a retarded take. Like, that they're communists begging
really?
for money. But,
All right.
there was some retard last night talking about how
I suppose it was just a matter of time.
like it's such a retarded take. Yeah, they actually are calling the police and reporting it as kidnapping.
Wow.
When the fucking ICE shows up to deport somebody. And they were like, it's not fair, like, they didn't ask to do that. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's the law, and Trump won the election.
Yeah.
Like, that's
yeah,
what people
fuck?
want. More people want than don't. So it doesn't really matter how they feel. Like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. And the guy was just like, oh, well, you know, and just had absolutely nothing to say to that. Because it was like, yeah, when you put it that way, it's like, what the fuck do you say to that? Because there's nothing. You got nothing. There's no fucking way to justify it.
Yeah, I can call you a fascist, I suppose, but that's about it.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Call me names all he wants. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I'm
Yeah,
sure likewise
the name
with
problem.
most you and most everyone else. It's like, oh no, you called me a fascist, a meaningless word now.
Right? Yeah, call me a Nazi, call me a fascist, because they mean nothing now.
Yeah, call me whatever you
All
want.
those
Just don't
words
call me
now
late
is-
for dinner, bitch.
Yeah, all those words mean now is guy I disagree with.
Yeah, exactly. I like to think fascist means super cool guy that I could never be, even though I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start thinking, dude. Yeah, we should. Yeah, everybody should start thanking people when they call them a fascist or a Nazi.
You.
Oh wow, really? Thank you.
Oh
I'm
man,
flattered.
is there? Wait. Can we take the letters of fascist and make that into like an acronym for something awesome? Like it's FASCIST, right? Am I right? Or is it like they're? You don't know how to spell fascist.
Yeah, FAST.
I don't use the word enough to fucking remember how to spell
We're
it.
sure it's FAST.
Yeah.
I'm also not 100% on that.
Alright, fascist. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell fascist. So what's a good F word?
I don't know. Oh, you mean like an acronym?
Yeah, fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, am I getting that wrong? Fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, and then there's another S, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sad thing is like, this won't go anywhere. It'd be fun if we had an audience.
If only.
Oh, I wonder if I could put that on fucking Reddit somewhere. Like, there's got to be a conservative place on Reddit where I could be like, here's the new, here's what fascist means. Oh man, I have come up with the best cocktail of side effects for my drugs now. And let's see, I'm opening a Word document here so I can what do you call it? Write this down because I can't keep it in my head. It's too many letters.
All right. Fair enough.
Let's see. Fucking amazing. Super cool. We have another S. It's fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, sexy. There we go. There we go. That's it. Sexy. What's a good T word?
I'd say make it turf because they really hate turfs.
Well, no, we don't want it to be something. That can't lead into something else. That's an acronym on its own.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Turf adjacent. Still too close.
Well, it's still a terp though. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Samaj?
Ahoy, hoy. What's up?
What
are you doing?
Am I even spelling fascist correctly though? That's the important part.
Oh, don't ask me. I'm dyslexic. I can't spell.
Yeah. We're spelling fascist correctly. I was just thinking we could make fascist into an acronym. Right?
I guess.
So a fascist is a fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, sexy, and I need something that starts with a T that represents a person.
T that represents a person?
Yeah. Like what they are. Like they're fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, sexy, something. Terrific guy or terrific person, maybe.
Nah, then you're adding a full word. You can add an extra word, but it's got to be like an it or an of.
Yeah,
or
it's got to be like it's got to be a noun at the end, I think.
Yeah.
Is there a cool animal that starts with a T?
Tasmanian tiger?
Paper? Fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, sexy Tasmanian devil. That would be as logical as as the way fascist is used in conversation at this point. Let's let it cook.
I mean, it sounds a lot cooler than, let's say, like a turtle or a trout. Or that weird microscopic beast called a tardigrade.
Start with a T. Tiger, thief, thud. Nouns that start with a T. Why did you just give me words? I specifically said nouns that start with a T.
What are you using? Are you using like
tycoon?
Okay.
That's one. Teammate. There's one. Treasure.
Yeah.
They could be what do you call it? A fucking amazing, super cool, intelligent, sexy treasure.
That kind of works.
Trailblazer.
That's a little too wordy.
Too wordy? Well, that's one word. Trailblazer is one word. Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I'm looking here.
It's got to be like 2 syllables of S, I think. Like a maximum of 2 syllables.
Yeah. Terror?
I was going to say tyrant, but that doesn't necessarily...
Thinker.
That's not a positive thing.
Thinker? That's like a positive thing. You're a thinker. You're an intelligent person.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't go well.
Thief doesn't work. Talker?
You're correct.
That's a person. There's a lot of words that, Trailblazers there again. Let's see. Tycoon, transition, telescope, temptation, tuition, tongue, teammate, toddler. Toddler's probably not it. Tenant, no. Teenager, no. Tajikistan?
Yeah, that's weird. Not a really good one. He is not a good one.
Teacher. That's one. You could be a thrill, but I think that wouldn't work.
Tribe. Oh no, that would be for more than one person.
Yeah.
You
You
could
could be
change
a
it to just doing
triumph.
fascism and just make it man. Like
Triumph?
fascism instead of fascist.
Oh, yeah. But triumph, that would be good. Well, the man thing would get the sexist going, but it's funnier if I think it's fascist.
Yeah, I got you.
Trout?
Just
What about
spitballing
trout?
here.
You could be a fish,
Yeah.
a tugboat, a tutor. I think thinker might be the best option out of everything so far.
Yeah, she's a tough one for some reason.
Well, because thinker at least implies you're an intellectual of some kind, you know? It's funny because it's kind of on the level of the left. That's the kind of the whole joke.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any other word that really comes up better than that. Yeah, it's kind of a limited option. Oh well, you know, maybe it's not meant to be. But I think it was an idea.
Yeah, I feel like 12 minutes. So not bad.
Thinker is probably the best option right now. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, what was it that yeah, oh yeah. So they're actually calling the police in LA now to report it as a kidnapping. And then they were pissed off when the police showed up and were like, well, yeah, it's not. All right, we'll control the crowd while you guys arrest this guy. Like, and then the fucking police just performed crowd control for ICE while ICE went ahead and fucking collected their person anyway. And then, like, people are so mad because, like, the courts are not doing anything and all this other shit. And it's like, yeah, because what they're doing is following the law, you dumb fucking cunt.
Yeah. Oh.
I hear one of the other problems that LA's having right now is that it turns out they might be bankrupt.
Oh, yeah, no. California has been giving so much money to these fucking pieces of shit for so long that there's none left. Yeah, there's absolutely none left unless they can start printing their own money. But, you know, which wouldn't surprise me because apparently they think they get to decide the immigration policy for the entire country. You know, like they're that important. So if California started printing their own money, I would not be remotely shocked or surprised. Like Cali bucks or some shit like that.
Yeah. Cali fun bucks.
Absolutely.
I heard about this interesting book called A Generation of Psychopaths. And
is it about the left? Because it sounds like you're talking exactly like the left right there.
Actually, it's about baby boomers.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Well, and apparently the reason being is that because the baby boomers pretty much had the best. They had like lots of money. They were able to buy a house with one person's income and raise a family.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they definitely had it the best so far. Yeah. Oh fuck yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
And they had it so good, and they're at the point where it created a generation of affluent mindset. So a lot of them think a certain way, which is why boomers sort of feel like they're entitled to everything. Because they're also the generation that they feel entitled to get what they want whenever they want, as much as they want. Partially because that's exactly how they've lived their lives.
Yeah.
So then, of course, like when they look at
like if you're homeless, why don't you just buy a house?
Exactly. And so, like that whole mindset, because they had it so well, and they just don't understand why young people just can't get their shit together. It's like, well, it's not that they can't get their shit together. It's just that they're
yeah, that's infuriating.
Yeah, and that's usually the mindset, and they're still like that, and they also show traits of narcissism and all the other kinds of stuff because that's just how they see the world, and they just can't see it any other way. So I was looking at that and like listening to people how they feel about that, like all the information in the book in there. I had to stop and go like, that sounds like my mother. So like,
Oh
fuck
yeah. Oh
Christ.
no. Like my mom too. Absolutely. Like she was. She won't go into grocery stores anymore because it's too disturbing with all the things locked up. But she doesn't understand that that's her fault.
Yeah, no, they can't grasp that.
Like the concept that
Also,
like that's directly because of your decision and the people you voted for. Like that's absolutely your fault. Like you made that happen 100%. And like now you're complaining and it's like you understand why that's hilarious, right? Like you're the one that
yeah,
caused it and now you're complaining about it like it's somebody else's fault. Like no, that's you. You did that.
yeah, yeah, and that kind of mentality has been pervasive throughout the boomer generation, and that's part of what all this is about. And of course, there's so many of them; they outnumber the young people, and all the young people can't afford to have kids, and it's going to be this way for a while. So, and you look at what's going on, and look at all these crazy people who keep voting in all these lunatic politicians, and partially because these lunatics, they know, they perfectly know that the boomers are how you win elections, which is like interesting because that reflects what happened here in Canada, because the older people, the baby boomers and all that, they're the reason why we're in the situation. They outnumbered the young people, and that's partially because young people couldn't have kids, and like if I had kids in my 20s or whatever, they'd be 18 and all that, so they'd be voting, and that's just it. Like none of my friends have kids, none of them. No one can afford to do that. And if we did that when we were younger, things would have been a lot different. But we didn't. So
Well, that was
that's where
the
you.
message when you and I were younger, at least for me, was always like, "Oh no, you can do that later. You don't have to worry about that now." Not that I wanted kids, like I never wanted kids, so I'm not like disappointed that I don't have any, but like, um, that's been the message to everybody for so long is, "Oh no, you can just do that later. You can just do that later. You can just do that later."
Yeah,
And
the
it's like,
whole.
no, you fucking can't. You need to do that in your 20s. Like that's how that works. There's a reason, like biologically, that we do that in our 20s.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing is with me, of course, I didn't know that here in Canada, but the money thing was always a problem throughout my life. I just thought it was like my choices and all that, and that's partially true. But I look at also my friends who also some of them have like good paying jobs and all that. Even they still struggled to make things ends meet, even when they were making money when they were younger in their 20s. So I think life has been hard for a while, but there's also a prevailing mindset like we'll think, well, maybe the economy will get better and all that kind of stuff, and it never did.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
Things
was
just
never
kept
intended
being.
to. Like this was always intended to lower the population.
Yeah, and so I didn't. If I there's a lot I didn't know back then that I know now that I wish I thought of, and if I'd done things differently, obviously I would have started a family and all that. I probably should have in hindsight.
If you
Um,
wanted one, yeah, yeah, that's definitely true.
well, and the nice thing is like we're guys, we actually could start a family. It's not us that takes the risk in childbirth. It's always
Well, I think
always
there's
such
going
a
to be
stereotype.
a lot of kids who have like one much older parent. It's probably going to be guys 90% of the time because that's the safer option. Like just biologically, it's safer for older men to impregnate younger women than it is the other way around.
Well, and older guys will have more money and all that. So I mean, I think
That's what I'm saying. There's
there's
going
a
to be a lot of older guys with more money, and a lot of women who are like, "Look, I want to have a kid, and I can't afford it." And none of the
well,
guys
and
my age can afford it either. So I'm going to go ahead
yeah.
and just get with a guy that's a little older, have a kid. They may or may not stay. They may or may not have any interest in like any of that shit. But it's definitely going to be like a thing for
Well, and
sure.
what bothers me, like I'll talk to a bunch of young women and all that, and they all think, oh, the world's overpopulated, so I don't need to have kids. That mentality is still in a lot of young women, and that's fucking disturbing
Well,
because
yeah,
that's
they've
not.
convinced people of that, and it's the dumbest bullshit on the planet. It's so nonsensical.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and so
there's
that.
plenty of wide open spaces out there.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah. Well, and also you need a
yeah.
certain amount of babies born on a regular basis in order to continue to care for the population into their elder years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then people need like we need to replace the population because when I die, someone has to take my place.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's when you have kids, and that's part of the reason why you should have kids, and part of the reason why you should have as many kids as possible is because life is hard. They're not all going to survive, and also you need to spread out the possibility for more genetic diversity. Otherwise, if only a handful of people are having kids, what are they going to have kids with? Other people like them, which creates a I mean, granted, it's not as prevalent as I'm making it out to be, but I'm saying that it's better to have more kids and hope that at least 2 or 3 of them survive than not.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
yeah,
like the ideal thing is like if every other couple has 3 kids and then the original couples have 2. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's just a little bit higher than replacement or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
yeah. Well, like, and when I was listening to that, like, it's actually better to have more like 6 to 8 kids if you can, simply because the amount of people who actually die in everyday stuff from
Oh, I was
sudden
just
death.
talking about like just keeping the replacement levels. I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
it
Well,
goes up if you're going into like third world countries, like not America and not Canada. But I think in Canada and America, it's like if you have like 2.5 kids, you're at population replacement.
not really. Mostly because like I keep mentioning about the whole death thing because that's a factor a lot of us don't think about. But the amount of people who die on average, is it like in the developed world is about like 3 million every year, and that's just on average. And if, let's say you talk about accidents and all the other kind of stuff, we live in a much more dangerous life when you think about it, with cars and all the other kind of stuff, and then you got diseases and then you got chemicals in their foods and whatnot, and quality of life goes down. So the amount of people who are able to have kids not as good as we think, especially with all the chemicals they're putting in our junk food.
Well, when they're
Uh,
if you look at it in Google, it says 2.1 children per woman is generally considered the replacement level. So in developed countries, so America and Canada.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I've heard that too. I don't know about that, but in any case, what I'm saying is like it's better to have more kids. And in the millennial generation, didn't have them. We're dangerously low. And
Oh, that's
a
true. Yeah.
a few days ago, I posted a video here in the general chat about China and their birth rate issues because they're facing the exact same problem we're having, and that you have a bunch of women because they had that one child policy,
Oh
which
yeah,
fucking
that was really destructive to their government and economy and everything. Like they really
yeah.
fucked themselves on that one.
Well, and then you have all these women who have all these high standards now because they know that there's not that many women opposed to every guy, but their standards have been so high for so long that most guys just stopped. They gave up having families at all. Why bother dating? These women want guys that have a house, have a car, good pay, and they also want. Apparently, I didn't know this in China, but they have this thing called like a bride fair where you have to give money to the bride. Like what? Why?
Oh,
Like
so
what?
China has. So one of the videos you sent actually was talking about it. They have a bride price and the other one. So it's like both families pay each other.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're bringing back dowries because they're
Yeah, they have a
trying.
dowry and a bride price. Both of those things exist in their culture. So it's like, I guess it just depends on the situation. It seems like it
yeah.
doesn't. It's not clear on if they're both customary each time, or if it's like, well, if this
Well,
family is like more important, then this other family has to pay for their kid or something, or like.
It,
Yeah.
things are sort of going in the opposite direction because yeah, there was the bride price. The guy had to pay for his wife and that kind of stuff, and then give him this fancy lifestyle. But what's happening is that we have a lot of women now who had such high standards, and now essentially the family who is desperate to have their daughter get married, and they're bringing in as much money as they can and offering it as a dowry, hoping that
Somebody will
a
take
guy
their
will buy
kid.
them.
I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
kid. My bad. Sorry.
You weren't too off there, in my opinion. But anyway,
I was looking at some of the shit those bitches were saying in China. It's exactly the same shit that was the worst of the women in the U.S. and everything are saying.
Yep.
Where they're
Yep.
like, I want a man who's more than 6 feet tall, and he's got to make $5 billion a year, and he's got to want to be my emotional tampon and let me fuck Bruno in the back room. It's like,
Yeah,
fuck off. Jesus Christ.
yeah, and like in my experience, I go on dates every now and then. Yeah, that's very much true. It's fucking terrifying. Even average mid of the mid women who are like not that attractive and all that kind. Like I lower my standards sometimes. Even they have that fucking mentality.
Oh, there's this
I'm
weird
like,
delusion that some women have. Like, one of the gals I know in VR chat, like I was talking about how rough OnlyFans is for most people, because like most women do not make money off of it. Like it's incredibly difficult to make money off it. It's extremely competitive. The rate at which new people are coming onto the platform is so extreme that like it does, unless you're like really good at marketing, you're really not likely to make any money at all. You're more likely to end up spending more money on whatever your camera and everything, like all your equipment, than you are to make off of whatever you're selling. For the vast majority of like 95% or something like that. But I was explaining that and like how it doesn't matter if like you're super attractive or any of that kind of stuff. It's totally irrelevant because there's every day there's like 100 new girls that are just as hot getting on the platform to sell pussy. So like you gotta have some sort of other way of advertising or getting like customers.
yeah, we have to remember every day someone turns 18.
Well, and she just refused to believe it. She's just like,
Yep.
no, I would absolutely sell. And it's like, I'm not arguing whether you're hot or whether or not people would be interested in seeing you naked. I'm just saying the competition is way fiercer than you have any fucking clue, because she's always mentioning it like as a thing where, oh yeah, I could always just do OnlyFans. It's like, no, you can't. Like you can't really. You don't have a. Because what do you really? I think what the people that make money are ones that already have like a social media following.
Yeah.
Like they've already built that following up, and so you either have to be willing to spend a lot of time building that following up, or you have to already have it in place in order to make any money. You can't just be like some random chick from fucking nowhere that nobody knows.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of these women just want the attention because that's really what they want, because that's just a normal thing for most women. They just love attention. So.
Well, and it's just so sad to be like, to actually think that that's something that they actually think. Like,
I think
it's just go, oh, worst case scenario, I can just go do OnlyFans. That's whatever, I don't have to work. Like, such delusional thought process. It's like, yeah, I can just go be a YouTuber whenever I want and make money off of that. It's so easy.
Yeah, except you need a skill or something. So, yeah, and that's the other sad thing, is that so many of these people think that they can be influencers, and I'm like, the world doesn't need more influencers. We're pretty well stocked for influencers. What we need are mothers. So that's a mentality that needs to be brought back, and I don't know if it would, and I don't know how we'd fix the situation, because I've heard some people float the idea that before we try to fix things, we should probably get rid of some of these laws and these rules, like for guys, like not child support, alimony or whatever, or like false accusations, that kind of stuff. Because that's the other problem, is that a lot of guys are scared to ask a woman out on a date, just scared to.
Oh, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
Because like if like what was it? There was a TV show on Netflix from the UK that I just watched not that long ago I think it was called Adolescence, and it was a story about a teenager who ended up murdering a girl, and it was the aftermath. Like they didn't cover the murder itself really, other than just as the fact that it occurred and that he killed her. There was no like mystery to it. There's never like well, did he or didn't he? It's like, no, they got video of it. He absolutely did it. Like it's 100% slam dunk. He's guilty. And it goes from that perspective of in the UK, how did they deal with the kid, and what's the repercussions for him, what are the repercussions for his family, how does the whole procedure of being questioned and all this stuff like end up like being taking place and everything. And it turned out like they were like, what was the reason that he killed her? Like, why was he so mad that he felt the need to like stab her to death with a fucking knife in the street? And it turned out he had been romantically inclined. He'd been interested in her in as a romance thing. And instead of just saying like no, she fucking turned him into a pariah at school by like ruining his reputation and like calling him an incel and all sorts of other like nasty shit. And getting everybody else to do it too, so that he was basically completely ostracized from the entire social hierarchy of his school.
Ugh.
And it's like, yeah, murder's wrong, but Jesus fucking Christ, if anybody ever fucking deserved it. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's maybe a hot take, but like, you know, he's a 13-year-old kid. He doesn't know that this is gonna fucking die and once he leaves school, and no one's gonna give a shit anymore except for the people he knew in school, and he can just move somewhere or whatever. But like, I don't know that's not like, I don't think murder's the answer, but I feel like if he kicked her ass, it'd be totally fucking justified. You know what I mean? Like if he just beat the shit out of her. Like,
I mean, oh boy, you're gonna get us all in trouble with that. But I mean, I understand that for a lot of guys, there's literally no recourse for reputation destruction like that.
yeah.
I mean, she gets to go around and say whatever, because we have this, unspoken rule, or spoken rule in some cases, that you can't hit a girl. You can't do anything about it.
Well, and also, we have this unspoken rule that she just gets to say whatever she wants and it's right.
Yeah, she can go around, spread rumors, which is kind of like the only, because if we're asking like physical force, women can't compete with that. So they go after you through reputation destruction,
Yeah.
and rumors and hearsay and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So it goes through a whole whack of all that, and it's very difficult for a guy to, like, what's his retaliation for that? He can't do anything. And of course, like you said, it was a kid, and he obviously shouldn't have done that. But
yeah, murder's definitely not like the way you respond to that. Like, obviously, I'm not saying it's justified. I'm joking around at most, but I do think that like you should get your ass kicked for that kind of thing. Like, that's a fair response. For ostracizing somebody from an entire school, like, I think that's like, the school knew what was going on and did nothing. That was another part of it that I thought was really, really fucking despicable. Like, it was like, oh no, he should just fucking tolerate it. Like, what? You out of your fucking mind?
Yep, I hear that. Like, kid, like, there again, when I hear that kind of stuff, it's like, it's more of a reason why you think, kids need to be homeschooled. I like, if you can't, like, if you're putting a kid in a vulnerable position like that,
well, no,
probably
kids
for the
need
best.
to be in schools. We need to have better educators, people that actually understand kids. For some reason, we have a bunch of people that are teaching schools right now that don't understand children at all. You know what I mean? Like they're taking things like, okay, so kids are really confused in puberty. Well, they must be transgender and they must need like to medicate and mutilate their genitalia. Like, that's not realistic as a response to puberty. That's an insane fucking response to puberty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's clearly the people that are teaching and in charge of our school systems right now have no idea what they're talking about. They don't know anything. They're not basing any of their responses to the problems in reality. I think we need men to start taking over like schools and teaching.
Well, and preferably men, not guys who are like, also
soy boys.
not soy boys. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Although, like, I'm not overly convinced because, like, I look at the state of the education system and people in education and all that. I don't know if there's any real way to fix it as it is right now. Like, and what really sucks, like, I always say, like, yeah, homeschool kids, but it's like, how's that? How do you even do that? People don't have enough money to
People do that. No,
survive.
so this is generally how it was working during like COVID and stuff. Is moms that were like at home and had the time during the day, or dads, either one, they would work out a system in the neighborhood where they would all take turns. So, like, one day you would all be over at, like, Mr. Johnson's, and his wife would fucking teach all the kids. And then, like, another day you would all go to, like, the Stewart's house and fucking learn there. You know what I mean? Like, and then, like, the next day would be another person's house, the next day another person's house. So that they were getting an education from different people and in getting it from home education as opposed to going to an actual school. Plus, they get the added benefit of interacting with the neighborhood kids.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, with all the COVID stuff. Not COVID. Well, yeah, sort of. That's
so I think that's a system that could very easily, if you were to talk to your other neighbors and like get to know each other and.
That'd be nice.
Do that brave thing of actually speaking to people that you live nearby.
Yeah,
it's like the bygone era thing, like in my neighborhood where we all know each other. That would be a good way to like potentially do like homeschooling if you wanted to in an area if you couldn't afford it, like to like pay for one spouse to just stay home or something like that.
And that'd be fine in a city environment, because if you have like a little cul-de-sac, if you can do that, I agree. Yeah, no, that could work.
I'm just saying that's one way. I'm not saying it's the only way. There's probably other options, you know.
Yeah,
but that's a pretty decent one as far as they go.
I think you're right. That would work out pretty well. If one could make that work. Although I don't sure. Like when I was bringing it up, I was mostly saying like if both parents are working. How you make that work? But then again, if you rotate,
that's true. If both parents work, how do you make that work? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the part that's really hard. Although,
well, they're more likely to be able to afford it, though. If both parents are working, that's generally like a much higher percentage chance that they would have the money. I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, I don't know if it'd be a higher chance simply because, like, you know, the cost of living is so expensive at the moment. However, if you were to, let's say, arrange it so that way a parent could take a day off during the week, like this parent would have a Monday, the other one takes a Tuesday, this one takes a Wednesday, and then you just sort of rotate it out between the houses, and then that gives each parent a chance to see the tutor and see how they interact with the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd probably be the way you'd make that work, if you can. The parenting nowadays is quite hard, and there doesn't seem to rotate to the political. It's like none of our politicians seem keen on addressing the unaffordable thing.
Yeah.
Aspect of it all.
Of course, then again, homeschooling might be a moot point at this point because we might be going into World War III. You never know.
Well, that's something I don't know. I like to think that we won't, but then again, that's not in our control.
Yeah, like this bombing thing with Iran keeps going like back and forth. There's a ceasefire now. They're bombing Israel. It's like, oh shit. Hopefully the Archduke Ferdinand is not fucking putting his head out too much right now.
Yeah, I think the whole thing going on right now is mostly because the what was it called, the Abraham Accords was actually very successful as it was going, because like it would actually mean that there would be a chance for peace. And if you're a religious extremist and you know peace is how you or is how you make your money, it's like, well, no, we need to sabotage this. So before Trump starts bringing back the Abraham Accords, what he was going to do, They're like, no, we have to go back to war. So we're just escalate.
Yeah.
War is how you
Well,
make your money.
I think this is like a bid from a lot of these big corporations. Because like there's like Halliburton and like Lockheed Martin and all these like companies that make so much money off of war. Like they obviously want money off of the war, but I think there's other pushes there too because Trump has cut so much money out of like spending from the government and cut off so many companies that had their living there with the Doge cuts. He's also deporting all of their voters, their attempts at getting voters. And swaying like like they want to sway the Electoral College and the House of Rep with the illegals in like all the blue states. That's why they're all in these liberal cities in the big states. So they're just trying to like sway their political power, and plus there's the cheap labor. So I think this is sort of like that sort of corporate bid to like try to derail the deportations.
Yes, they can.
And it'll be like, oh, hey, we could deport, or they could all become soldiers and be citizens in our war that we make lots of money off of. And they can just all die for that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's not going to work too well because a lot of the people that they would fight against are people they would agree with. Chances are you give them all a bunch of guns, send them out there to participate in this war, and they'll just turn the guns back on.
Like, are those communists? Like, I'm pretty sure...
No,
what I'm saying is communists in the Middle East.
No, they just agree with them on the whole like death to America.
Oh, yeah.
So that
as soon as they started waving foreign flags, in my opinion, they should have started using live ammunition.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to fucking take over the country and for Mexico? All right, that's cool. Let's like let's fucking put an end to that.
Yeah, that seems to be the big issue with all of this. Okay, great, yay. We all hate America.
I'm definitely curious though, because the thing with like intelligence is like the intelligence in the spy intelligence. And information on the enemy is like you can never be 100% sure. So like, was there a nuclear like enrichment plant there? Like I'm inclined to think there probably was. Maybe it was there. Maybe it wasn't there. It was somewhere else, and that was a front. I don't know, but I'm not. I would be shocked to find out that there wasn't something going on in Iran because that's how they get. That's how they see themselves getting to the big boy table.
Yep.
Right? Like, you get nuclear power, and then you're one of the big countries, and you get to have a lot more say as to what happens because you're fucking... The damage you can do is substantially larger, So it's, like, kind of a scary situation.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. As scary as it used to be, because Russians are kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was scary that having the bomb for all that time, but at least the Russians still had semblance of like self-preservation or whatever. Any country in the Middle East, man, I don't like. That's way more terrifying to me. I don't know if I'm alone on that.
Yeah, Islam is like a death cult, so it's like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like positive, like in their mind, like yes, no, we're gonna send everyone to heaven. It's a good thing.
Yeah, well, they're the countries that still throw gay people off of roofs. Like it's like, all right, maybe you don't like gay people or whatever, but like it doesn't mean you have to kill them, and that's insane, dude. That's like such a fucking dark fucking response.
Oh, dude, that reminds me of like Hassan. Good to trans people. No, if you're gay, you have to actually change gender. That's he counts that as positive.
They either kill you or they change your gender surgically. It's like that's not really It's not really a choice per se. There, Hassan. It's certainly not a good thing because I think I can speak for a lot of gay men, and I'm not gay or at all, in that they would rather not be turned into a woman surgically by force.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is
it's an
he still
absurd
walking?
thing.
Around, is he still walking around, or has he gone to jail yet?
Hassan?
Yeah.
He's not
What
going to
was he
jail.
going to go to jail for? I didn't know. I didn't know there was.
Well,
he was
chance
at
of
the
him going to
protest.
jail.
He was at the protest.
protests and shit. He was on the what do you call it? On the closed down highway or whatever. He
He went full retard. Oh wow.
Yeah, full retard. Went out there. He was. Apparently, some of his fans were coming up to him talking about how he inspired them to do all that kind of stuff, and there was talk that some of his fans were out there. That's not good.
Well, I mean, he's not responsible for what his fans do. Like that obviously can't be held against him in like a court of law. I mean, I can understand if you want to say morally, but legally speaking, like whatever his fans do has nothing to do with him. It's not going to be coming back on him at all.
Yeah, plus he's got a fucking uber rich dad.
Unless
Nothing's
he's
happening to that.
specifically fomenting, like, if he's literally asking people to go out and commit acts that are illegal on his platform, then it's a felony. But if they're just like, if he can somehow like justify, like
yeah, he
saying,
just
well, I didn't mean that they should do this or whatever. Like, it's pretty easy to kind of talk your way out of it.
Yeah, he just foments general hatred, nothing specific for.
Like, he doesn't have a specific call to action, like, you guys should go out and hurt this person or attack this person or whatever, because that's, like, when it becomes, like, a legal issue.
Yeah, I don't think he does that.
Like, if you have an audience and you're like, I think you guys should go out and take over this building and do this, like, that's what it really becomes like a... Like, it has to be pretty specific, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dumb guy, but he's not that dumb.
He actually participated in the protests himself, though. Is that the case?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know that he did anything, but he was definitely hanging out.
Where they could go after him. I don't know. That's curious.
That's what I was talking about, because he did like a live stream. He was actually out there, and there was other people and other.
Wait, he recorded himself at the protests. Oh, that's.
He live streamed it. He live streamed it on Twitch.
That's delightful. If he was committing any crimes at all, then that would be fucking hilarious if he ended up going to jail for that shit. If the feds were like,
California,
look at that. You gave us the evidence to convict you. What a choice you made, sir.
What law enforcement service in LA do you think is going to arrest him?
No, good sir. Many of the things that people are engaging in now, especially if they're interfering with ICE, is federal crime.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot what the protests were for.
It's no longer
okay, never
up
mind.
to the DA
Gotcha.
in LA to decide whether or not they face charges or go to jail. That's not up to them anymore at all. It's up to the fucking federal people. And they're pressing charges.
Yeah.
So these people are actually going to jail now, which is like really fucking nice. So it would be really funny if he did something that could be considered a federal crime so that they could go after him. Because I would highly encourage them to do so if they could, because ain't no one more deserving of a jail cell than Hassan Piker, that's for sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'll still believe it when I see it.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Same thing with, like, fucking P. Diddy. Like, I'll believe he's going to prison when he fucking goes through the front door of prison.
Yeah. Indeed.
Didn't one of his lawyers quit?
Maybe. There was a little frou-fra. I saw a video on it. Apparently, to make the case simpler and more streamlined at the request of the court, they dropped some of the charges, but they're not really dropped. Sort of, it's like a weird sort of thing where they were like, we're just gonna not worry about this like really, really pointless thing here, and to make it easier for the jury to figure out the if it's guilty or not.
The main shit.
Yeah. The primary like stuff he's still accused of, but they dropped a couple of the charges, like the attempted this and attempted that, because they were like, it doesn't really, it's not really necessary for the RICO conviction, and it just
there was
makes
an arson
so much
charge
more
in there.
Complicated than if he's just guilty of arson or attempted arson. It's like, well, yeah, if he's just guilty of arson, then that's easy. You don't have to like explain as much for attempted arson or some of the attempted sex trafficking stuff got dropped, but it was none of those like serious charges. So he's not like not two-tier justice yet. We'll see.
Okay. So it's kind of like they were almost overwhelming. Like just
there were so many charges, exactly. So many charges, and so many of them were technical. Like there was a lot of attempted this and attempted that was related to the actual crimes. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. I think there's a good chance he goes to jail. The lawyer that was saying it says there's a good chance he goes to jail, but I'll believe it when it happens. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the way of things. Especially if he has like he's famous and has a lot of money and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wait and see. It's probably the safe bet.
Well, he's definitely getting a better run than almost anybody else ever would, for sure. Like, there's no question of that in my mind. I think anybody else accused of so many horrendous crimes would probably be stuck in a jail while they were being tried. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way they would just be like, oh yeah, you could just hang out in your fucking mansion for the next year while you go through trials. We don't have to worry about you trying to sneak aboard a private plane somewhere and escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Like house arrest?
I'm pretty sure he's on house arrest. I mean, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just assuming, and I shouldn't be.
Honestly, I haven't followed that case closely at all. No idea. But it wouldn't surprise me.
Out on bail. Oh, he's not out on bail. Never mind. I take it back. I'm wrong. Yeah,
so
yeah.
They're
keeping him. They've refused him bail 3 times, citing risk to the community, risk to tampering with the jury, in the trial with the witnesses. He remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. All right, I take it back. Never mind.
Wow.
You know what? That makes me feel a lot better about the whole thing, like him going to jail and stuff. I think that's a much more likely chance now.
Like they're not fucking around, actually keeping him in jail.
Unless he gets Epsteined for a verdict gets reached.
Yeah, the guilty verdict comes down, then the next minute, it's like, how did he fucking hang himself? We don't know. Somebody gave him a rope or something, Like, well, so weird, man. So weird.
Yeah, funny how that worked out.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
Like I always say,
I'm
pretty sure Epstein's still alive. That's just my conspiracy theory.
I think it was easier to kill him than to try to hide him. I think he's probably dead.
I think
just
he was
from a monetary perspective. I don't think they give a shit what anyone thinks, and that's a really good warning in their minds for anybody else who might fuck up like Epstein did by playing too fast and loose and getting too publicly well known.
I wouldn't be surprised either way, honestly. If he was dead or...
Yeah, to be fair, though, I would not be shocked if he was alive. That's a fair point, too.
Yeah. But I think you're right, Stabby. I think he just had too much... Yeah, he was too much of a liability. They probably did take him out.
But either way, I think we can all agree that it was absolutely not a suicide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's something that everybody on the planet fucking says is like, there was no suicide involved.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know there's people that say it wasn't, but as far as people that actually believe it wasn't, or that it was a suicide,
I'm sure the people that say it was a suicide don't believe it was a suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying, dude.
Even them, they're
nobody genuinely believes that shit.
No, absolutely no one.
It could also be that something we won't get any answers for decades because
that
it's pretty good.
That is probably true.
Like for
100%.
instance, what surprised me, because I didn't know this, but I was listening to a thing about the moon landing back in the day, and apparently most of the country didn't believe that the moon landing actually happened.
Wow.
And I thought,
Wow, back then, like when it allegedly happened.
well, because the reason being is that everyone knows how the signals gets to your television. It's through like a tower, right? Like a signal to go through, and you receive it. Okay, you need to set up a tower for that to happen. There's no tower on the moon. Where the fuck did they get the footage from? And it was said that it was live. The only way it gets live is if there was a tower. And everyone knows there's no tower on the moon.
Wasn't
So
the
then
tower just built into the spaceship?
If it was, you would have seen it because it has to be a certain size. But also because the moon is so far away, by the time it would reach, it would have been like midnight or something. So
I gotta
how
say,
it
I know
arrived.
absolutely nothing about how any of that works. So I don't
No, because
really
it's
answer, but
older.
I'm just like, it seems to me like there would be something built into the spaceship that would allow them to transfer that data, because not only were they like doing like the video of it, but they were like they were in radio connection for like the whole time. So
Yeah, well, because how that there again was the other problem, because the reason how, because it's older technology, and older technology functions slightly different than what we have now. One of which being is that you can't just like let's say if we did the moon landing today and they were to live stream it, well, you know that they can't do that because the Wi-Fi signal or the internet signal or the satellite stuff would have been too far away unless they made a customized some like device that could have received signals. But because the moon is a different atmosphere and a different all that kind of stuff, we can explain some of it away, but not all of it. Back then, they had nothing like that. It works by the satellite signal, well, antennas and all that kind of stuff. It's like similar. It's like broadcasting similar to a radio signal. And they're saying that by the time because they always said live, this is a live feed and all that. Live feeds can only happen with like the antennas, like the towers to make it work. And it has to be a certain size. And because the moon is so far away, by the time you would have received the signal, it would have been at least 24 hours at minimum, or at the earliest. So the broadcast they got, which would have been the next day, but they said live at this moment, and they all said that, and that was the stuff they said. And so apparently, I didn't know this, but the moon landing was highly contentious, and most people didn't believe it actually happened. Most people thought it was fake. And it wasn't until like a couple generations later that we actually start thinking, oh yeah, that's how it actually happened. And I didn't know this. And apparently, if you look at like media, like from James Bond, because they made a parody about that, because there's one of the Bond movies, they literally go through a Hollywood, like Bond's going through his chase, he's trying to catch someone, they're going through a Hollywood studio, and there's a moon landing thing, and then there's the Kubrick stuff that was going on, and apparently it was a big thing. But it's like, it was back then, it was all considered lie. And I'm saying this right now.
End of Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. So it's like that's why I'm saying, like, right now we all don't believe the whole Epstein kind of thing. In about a
in a couple generations they probably will. That's a good point.
Exactly. So like, yeah, we all don't believe it. We all know it's nonsense. We all get this. It's not going to matter because a generation from now or two, that's exactly how it's going to be broadcast, if anyone even talks about it at all. So. Yeah, it's going to be a long time, but then again, the evidence might come out eventually, and no one's going to care. Like the JFK thing, some of that's still hidden. We're going to get the information, and a lot of people still don't care about that. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, we were told like the JFK files would be released. We were told the Epstein files would be released, and they weren't. So
Yeah,
that's the same bullshit that happened the last time Trump got elected.
Yeah, we
I'm
thought a lot
not
of
a fan of that crap. It's like, no, if you say you're going to release the files. It's not. You're not the one that should be making the decision on whether or not we should know this and we can or whether we can handle the information.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think it's publicly too important. Like, people have a right to know.
Yep. And I don't
especially
think
if the CIA was involved in the death of one of the presidents of the United States. It's like, how is that not like incredibly public, like important public information. Like that's like, come on now.
Like I remember,
Yeah. And the FBI, by the way. Don't forget the FBI. Hoover
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
hated Kennedy, dude.
well, in
Well,
Secret Service.
Kennedy was talking about eliminating both the FBI and the CIA and the fucking the Federal Reserve Bank and all this other shit. It's like he was going after the fucking power. You know, he was like, I'm not going to make these
ending
empty
the Vietnam
promises
War.
about, you know, getting rid of the fucking bigwigs. I'm actually going to get rid of the fucking bigwigs. And it was like, oh shit.
Yep. I think
Yeah.
that, like, I think they're all being very careful with it because they know fully well that they're going to kill him. It's like I know that they want to release the information, but it's going to be a while because they got to figure out how to navigate through this. Because the people like what's his name, Cash Patel or whatever, the guy in charge of the CIA, I think he's ready to go. He wants to do all this kind of stuff. But there's a whole team right behind him that's ready to kill him. And I know, and the only reason I think that is because Elon had said he had access to a whole whack of information as well, and he didn't release it all. He did say like, yeah, they're probably going to kill me if I do. And I can't remember what the interview was, but yeah, I heard Elon say, yeah, they're going to kill him. Well, if you guys are like in the highest office and you're afraid of getting whacked, it's like, well, that could be why the information's not out yet. So, who knows? It could also be that they have their sights on their family members as well.
Oh
so
yeah, who knows?
For all we know, like they know where Elon's kids live, or they know where Trump's kids are, and they're like, yeah, they're gonna go. So like, how do you combat that? In fact, they even say if you even say that we have your family hostage, we're gonna fucking kill them. So it's like, well, what are you gonna do? I think they're in a hard spot, but well, I'm just speculating. This might not even be a thing.
I look at it as like I would really like that information. I think we as the public have a right to it, but there's so many other things that are like so much more important right now, like getting the illegals out and dealing with this whole fucking thing with Iran and everything. And it's like I can understand pushing it off for now.
I think that's part of
that's what's going on, and I know that it's a distraction tactic, but it's like, you know.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's part of the reason why there's all this conflict going on right now, because it is a distraction, because they need a distraction.
Yeah.
Because if you keep the pressure going, it's like, well, then what are you going to do about it? Well, yeah. So they need to, Mr. President, focus on something else. Stop talking about the Epstein files and all that. He's too busy with global events.
Maybe he brought the Epstein files up and the JFK files up to like keep them occupied, trying to cover their ass while he deports as many as he can. You know.
Could be. Politics is a dirty game. It is. It's an absolute dirty game, and I would not want to be in politics.
I kind of think that's why part of the reason why Israel started a war with Iran, to draw attention away from.
Yeah.
Could be.
Absolutely.
I don't trust any of the war stuff going on right now. I think a lot of the chaos that we're seeing is done on purpose. So but then again, that's just me being pessimistic.
We're all kind of in that same boat. We're all like, nah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that generally is their main divide and distract. Does seem to be their main,
tactics.
Their
primary tactic. Yeah.
Speaking of which, out of curiosity, are the LA riots still going on?
Yeah.
Still okay. Because
the guy I was talking to last night about that, who was talking about how like they're kidnapping people. That retarded nonsense. That was last night. He lives down there. He was talking about it still going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Still going on.
Right. All right.
Absolutely. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard. I didn't see that in the news before I heard that that's what they were doing. I actually heard it from a person, and I was just like, they're not being kidnapped. Nobody's being forced to kidnap them. We as a country made this decision. Like, grow up, dude. And then he just stopped. It's pretty funny because he was just like, I don't really have anything to say to that one. Because it's like, no, I mean, that's what happened. Like, that's the thing that infuriates me the most about that whole situation is that they call it the No Kings protest. And it's like, this could not be more democratic. Like, it's impossible for it to be any more democratic than it already is.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
how can you be more democratic? We voted, they lost, this is what we wanted, and this is what our president is doing. Like that's how democracy works. This is a positive thing.
Yeah, the No King label is weird one to me.
Well, it's the attempt.
Yeah, it's
to
nonsensical.
To obfuscate the reality.
Yeah, to label people as evil. You know, he wants to make himself king.
Yeah. He wants to make himself king by doing what he was voted to do by the people. What a horrible man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Although I guess people are not used to politicians doing trying to do what they say they're going to be elected to do. So
yeah,
I guess that's a little weird.
He may not have delivered on everything, but the fact that he delivered on anything is shocking.
Yeah. Well, even in the first term, he tried to do everything at least. You know what I mean? He got railroaded a lot for a lot of the shit, but he was trying to do everything. Said he was at the very least.
Oh yeah,
which was shocking. I remember that being like, holy shit, he's actually trying to do the shit he said he was.
Well, I think that's why he started doing so much stuff immediately. Was because he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be bogged down with politics sooner rather than later. I better deal with this now. Like, if I don't start the deportation process immediately, it's gonna get bogged down in red tape and nonsense and rhinos and all that other bullshit.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So, we're getting a lot more than I ever hoped. They've already, I think the numbers I saw were conservatively at 150,000, and that was a week ago.
Right.
So, I don't know where we're at now. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and the courts keep going. I love that the courts keep going on his side. That is probably my favorite thing. And they're like, you can't deport these people. He's like, yes, I can. And then the courts are like, yes, you can. You can't deport these people in the wrong country. Yes, I can. And then the courts are like, yes, you can. And you're like, suck it,
hey,
nerds.
that's the way it was written up.
Can't do this, but I can. Fucking watch me.
Yep, that has been very satisfying because it's like, nope, they don't belong here. And the really fucking sad thing is really, I think ultimately, and I think we've all talked about this many times, is he's going after rapists and murderers and child molesters and thieves and people who assaulted people. He's not going after good, honest, hardworking family guys, you know, that's not even on the menu yet. He should deport them all. I genuinely think he should deport every last fucking one of the illegals, regardless of whether they have American kids or not. I don't care. Whatever. They shot out a couple of kids. Let's get that dealt with in court, but let's deport the parents for now, and the kids can stay here if they want to go with their parents, if they're underage.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
Very
I'm
upset.
Sorry. She's wrestling with the other dog.
Oh, I thought the dog was like, yeah, I agree. Get rid of those fucking illegal aliens. I want to look at the numbers here. Let's see.
Yeah, one of my dogs, she just sort of lying down, minding her own business. The other one wants to play, so she doesn't like being ignored.
Sounds like a small dog. Are they all small dogs?
Yes, yeah. One's a Pomeranian, the other one's a Schipperke, and Schipperkes are this one's about as small as a Pomeranian, so. Small yappy
All
little
right.
things.
So it's still at 150,000 plus.
Still
But
damn good.
I imagine
Pretty
that
damn
number
good.
is going to go up sooner rather than later. Because like even though they're dealing with these riots and shit, they're still deporting people on a regular basis.
I thought it's funny that they, as soon as that one guy got brought back or whatever, they're like, okay, charging you with crimes.
I gotta go deal with the dog,
Forget
and
the
I
dude's
should probably
name.
go. I should probably go make some. I'll be back.
No worries, man. All right, you too. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. They're like, all right, we'll bring him back, and you're under arrest, and you're charged. You know, the guy from Maryland or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
That everyone thinks is again totally innocent, and it was horrible that he got deported.
Oh man,
He
yeah.
was caught in a big ass van with a bunch of fucking illegal people trafficking.
Oh, did you see the one of the videos I posted where it was like a Mexican dude with a 13-year-old girl in the back who's taking her to Mexico? And the cop pulled him over, so he hid the girl under a blanket in the back seat, like the cop was gonna know that was a person.
Mm.
Like you watch the video and you're like, that's very clearly a person under a blanket. And it's like
Right.
he got pulled over for like something was obscuring his mirror, and it's like, thank God he's like the dumbest fucking idiot on the planet. Because if you think about it, like an intelligent person would have just said, "Oh yeah, I'm taking my cousin down to this city to go hang out with some relatives." And there's no way that the cop is even gonna A, think twice, B, be able to prove or disprove that, or like you're gold.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to bother with it. Yeah, he's not going to bother doing like an in-depth investigation.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Hey, you can't keep your mirror blocked. Unblock your mirror," and you're like, "Oh, thanks. I really appreciate that, man. You know, much better than getting a ticket or something. I'm so sorry. I didn't know." So easy to do. Like I'm like that'd be so easy to handle. There was like a YouTube video I saw. I didn't watch the whole thing, but this guy was talking about how he drove cars with drugs in it for the cartels for like 20 years and never got caught. And he's like, it was very simple. I never drove a car that wasn't completely legal from bumper to bumper. So like the headlights all work, the signals work, the registration is valid, the license plates are valid. You know, there's nothing coming up when you run it through the system. It's not going to come up as stolen. You know, none of that shit. And the other thing is, he would always drive the speed limit. He's like, I'll just drive the speed limit, like drive legally and drive a car that's legal, and no one would ever like pull me over. He got pulled over, but like it was never for anything serious, and he was just like polite and pulled over immediately. And don't
it seems like all the things,
you know, 90% of the time they're not going to go further than writing you a ticket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking. I'm like, why wouldn't that be standard operating for everyone?
Oh, it
that
probably
should be like
is.
hell shit. Yeah, and then they just don't do it because they're fucking.
There's the people that get caught are the morons. You know what I mean? Like you've worked in many jobs, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And you've worked with people that are just absolutely blindingly stupid. You know, they're just
Indeed.
like like it's unbelievable how dumb some people can be. Where you're like, how did you
This
not?
is true.
One of the ones I saw was it was like this guy was working at Walmart, and he was taking receipts that he would either make or get from other people and make copies of from other transactions, and refunding it directly into his own personal account. And it's like, well, how do you how did you think they were not going to find you? Like, how did you think you were not going to get caught? Like, that's just like your own bank account, buddy. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. How would you not know to like create a fake one, kind?
Or do it to cash.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Or do it to cash and do it when you're in the middle of processing another return to another person. Have that person sign off on all the stuff, right? So on their receipt, even though they're not going to get the full refund, they don't need to know that. They just get their refund, and you keep the extra cash yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a complicated way to do it. That would make a lot more sense to me. I don't know. I don't know how the system works. I only ever was like a gas station clerk, so like we didn't really give refunds. But I can't imagine
Yeah, I
it's
would
that
think
hard.
if I was gonna do something like that, I would definitely search. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't just do shit like that without knowing enough about the system
Yeah,
to
I
try
would
to get
look at.
away with it.
I would come up with a system that would enable me to attain the money in a way that does not draw suspicion to me. And I wouldn't have done it at the rate he was doing. He was doing it at a really high rate.
Like an impossibly high. Yeah,
like $40,000 over the course of a year. Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
you could probably keep that around 10, and probably be a lot less likely to get caught.
Yeah, no, I've done a few things. No specifics, just in case. No statute of limitations. But yeah, the few things I've done in my corporate career, or whatever you want to call it, yeah, I didn't get busted for anything.
Yeah, it's not hard not to get
Because the
busted
shit I
for
did
stuff.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't $40,000 worth of shit, but
no, definitely
was,
not.
you know.
Well, say somebody worked at a gas station for a long time, and say somebody realized that there were cameras all over the store, except not in the freezer and not in the refrigerator. And if you wanted a free drink or a free ice cream or something like that, you could pretty easily just get it in the other side.
Yes. Imagine such a scenario.
Or also notice that you could just make yourself a cup of coffee whenever you wanted. The gas station I worked at had like this thing where I think at any given point you could have like 12 pots of coffee brewing, and it had like all different kinds of coffee. There was like flavored coffees of all different kinds, like French vanilla and cinnamon and like hazelnut coffee and stuff. And then they had all these little creamers and stuff out there, and you could just go make yourself a cup of coffee, and no one really fucking cared, because it was just not enough of a concern to the company. Although after I left there, they increased their security substantially. And got to the point where they were like doing what do you call it, where they like the security camera, they would like talk to you from like a security place and like check in with you on a regular basis all night long.
Oh,
all day
wow.
long. So like every hour or something, the security company would be like, hey, how's everything going? Everything cool? We're keeping an eye on you. Like everything, we see everything's fine. No worries right now. Like, so they literally were watching you all the time through the security cameras in the big corporate center area. It was really gross.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we can see you're not stealing. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
Because we are watching.
I would have quit as soon as that came in had I still worked there, and not because like, I can't steal anything anymore. It'd be more like,
yeah,
it's just too fucking creepy, man.
Yeah.
It was really weird. That was the job where I left, and the guy, one of the fucking clerks that I worked with, gave me like a fucking eighth of weed. Like, that's a fucking going away gift. Ironically,
wow.
Even though I don't smoke weed, I didn't at the time. I do now, but like I didn't do anything at that time. Like I don't think I even drank at the time.
Just LSD?
Yeah, just the LSD. But you're not wrong. That is kind of fucking ironic. Yeah, no. But it was just one of those weird things, and it was like, here, have this fucking weed. And I'm like, but I don't even smoke weed. Like, what do you want? Take it. Fucking, we're on camera. All right, you fucking lunatic. Like,
you could have done this off-site, Tell me.
Well, he was the
Meet me
one that would
somewhere.
fucking give cigarettes to the fucking like 12-year-old kid.
Wow. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was. I just stayed out of the whole thing because I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, what the hell?
But that was a weird job. That was working there. Fun job though.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck it! I just found out my manager now. They promoted the other overnight lady. The lady that does the other overnights from the ones when I'm off. They promoted her to manager not long ago, and then replaced her with another lady. She is not a good manager. She's a fucking lunatic, apparently.
That's nice.
So
That's gonna be fun, huh?
I don't have to worry about it because I don't care, and everybody's intimidated by me for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm in good with like Rita and like Tom, the guy that runs the company, and then like he's the highest person in the company, and then she's the second highest. And they love me, so I think that's part of it. Is like they talk about me glowingly because I do my fucking job and I don't fuck around. It's not hard,
Right.
but anyway, we have this door to the office, right? Like in the office we keep like all the meds and everything and like that. It has to be locked when no one's in there, and the clients can't just go in there on their own. Like they have to be in there with somebody else, and you can't like leave them. Like you can't like have a client in the office and go to the bathroom and then come back while they're still hanging out there alone. That's not okay, because the meds are all there. But the door to the office has two halves, a top half and a bottom half, so you can like open and close them independently of each other. Right?
Right.
So, for whatever reason, she does not like when the top half of the door is open. If people that are going to get into the office reach through the top half of the door to unlock the bottom half of the door.
All right.
Like she demands that they use the key to unlock the bottom half of the door, even though the top half is open and unlocked. Not even like unlocked and closed, open. And she's in there, which means the door doesn't even have to be locked.
Right.
Like there's not even a reason for that door to be locked when she's in there. And it's ridiculous for her to have it locked while she's in there. Like that's just absurd. There's no reason the clients shouldn't be able to knock on the door and talk to the manager during the day. Like, yeah, there can be times, put up a sign if you need them to leave you alone for a certain period of time. Sure, that's totally reasonable. But they need to be able to speak to the manager and go knock on the door sometimes too. Like that's kind of ridiculous to have that locked. And to the point where like she has given people verbal warnings, like official verbal warnings over this. And one guy reached in and she smacked his hand.
Wow.
And I was like, you can't fucking do that. You can yell, which is dumb because you're creating a hostile work environment. You're just kind of setting yourself up for a potential lawsuit. Whether it happens or not, it's just not smart.
Yeah.
Like as somebody who works for a company, you kind of don't want to represent that company that way during work hours and get yourself really in a lot of trouble. But yeah. So that kind of lunacy. One of the guys, it's pretty regular because we clock in on a computer in the office. It's not uncommon to walk in the house and end up getting distracted by something and end up being like 20 minutes late to clock in, even though you were there on time. And it is 100% standard procedure for the for the manager to fix that. For you to say like, hey, I was here on time, I got distracted by X, and I didn't clock in. Told him, could you fix my clock in so that it's at the right time? That is something they have done literally hundreds of times now. because it's just the nature of the beast when you work at a group home. It's like that just happens sometimes.
Right.
So I am genuinely curious to see like how that plays out, because I told that guy, I was like, dude, you need to go report that to HR, because she gave him a written verbal warning for being late. Even though he was on time, he just had to he just got like distracted by stuff and didn't get to the clock for 20 minutes. So
yeah, that's fucked up, man.
I'm like, dude, you need to go to HR, because not only that, but you're not getting paid the full amount of money for the time you worked. Plus, you guys are doing all sorts of extra construction work and shit for this company. It's even more despicable that they're gonna be like that strict on you. You know what I mean? Like they're doing all sorts of like painting and installing lights and shit like that.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, she sounds like she's gonna be a wonderful boss to have.
Oh, she'll last a few more months at most. She's not gonna last long.
Yeah.
Like I've just seen it too many times before. Like it just she's gonna be gone soon.
Dude, I always find it people, they get this tiny, like infinitesimally amount of power, dude, and they let it go to their head.
Yeah, it makes no sense, right?
Like, yeah, it's not like you're a fucking president or vice president of the country or something. This is one little company out of fucking hundreds of thousands or millions of companies, and you're not. You're like, it's you're the overnight boss. Like it's not.
Well, she's not the overnight boss. She's the house manager. She like runs the whole house all day. Right. Yeah. But
but still, even that, it's like it's not. I don't understand how something that minor makes gives somebody a power trip.
It's like a mindset. Yeah. It's like they're like, I get to be in charge now. Everything has to be done my way. And what it is it's Lord of the Manor versus Captain of the Boat. It's the way I see it.
Mm.
Right? Like the Lord of the Manor has a bunch of idiot servants that don't know what the fuck they're doing and need to be told every single detail of everything that they want done. Right? Mm. Captain of the Boat has a crew that he's worked with for years and they know what they're doing. And he trusts them to do their job. So he can like what do you call it?
Delegate.
Just issue an order and they'll get it done and you don't have to worry about it.
Mm. Yeah, it's fucking bizarre, dude.
Like I don't understand why she's doing what she's doing, but like she is, and it just makes no sense. It's so sad. Cause like I don't want her to fail. You know what I mean? Like I'm better her than me. I don't want to be manager. Like I'm not like looking for a job or anything. I know what they do, and it's fucking miserable. Like, I would never wish that on my worst enemy.
No, I fucking avoided pretty regularly. Like at my so it's a little more money and headaches. I'm like, I'll stick with sale.
I think day shift makes like $45,000 a year, which is still in the fucking poverty level here in California.
Right.
And I think the manager makes like around like 55 a year. Like it's not a whole lot more. Even though you're running the whole house, it should be around like 80 to 100K in my opinion. But like for what they're doing, because they're also on a regular basis, like I think it's like once every other month they have to spend a week being available 24/7 on call. So they're getting like called in the middle of the night from all the houses. Yeah, like that's a normal thing. Because if something happens in the middle of the night, I need to talk to management. I can't make all the decisions there. Like it's just not. It wouldn't work for licensing. Do I actually need management to tell me what to do? No, they're retards. I know what I need to do way more often than they do. And in fact, numerous times I've been on the phone with them and had to walk them through, very, very politely walk them through no, 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 this is the procedure that needs to be done. Why don't I do this? Like,
Right.
because they don't fucking understand their own job half the time. But like, still they have to be like there and be like responsible and all that stuff. And then legally, I don't have to worry about it. If they tell me to do something stupid, then I'll do it. Like, I'll do it, and it's gonna come back on them, not me. So that's what I like about that.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. Oh, it's not gonna last. She's gonna be gone soon. She's gonna be gone soon. They're gonna have to get another manager. I just hope she doesn't take anybody with her. Like get a chance to fire anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Right.
like all the people that are working at the house right now. Everybody there except for like the newest guy that she's picking on now knows exactly what to do. Like, they all know how to do their jobs. The clients like working with them. You know, everybody wins, right? So all you really got to do is just like set the schedule, do the paperwork, and keep on people to get whatever like chores and appointments and stuff that they need to get done. Like, it's not that hard. But for some reason, like, she's decided to make it like in like a big fucking deal. I don't know why.
Yeah. Take something that's not complicated and
Make it complicated. Yeah, exactly. Yep. One of those weird things. So that's entertaining. Oh, I saw this crazy video. It was on one of those Taylor the Fiend videos. Like, I don't like his commentary, but he collects some very interesting videos to see. And
yeah.
I thought it was
they're
very
fucking
interesting the way that these people like respond to stuff, because it's like a lot of it is, well, what's all the other information about the situation, right? And this one was this lady who was like, one of her posts was like, I'm not going to cook for my husband. I'll only cook for me and my children. I'm not going to do his laundry. I'm only going to do me and my children's laundry. I'm not going to, clean up out, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do, essentially, she's not going to do anything for the husband, ever.
Right.
He's got to do it all himself. And I'm like, so what's the other part of the situation?
Yeah, what does this bitch bring in?
Yeah. Well, and what is the husband? What is the husband bringing? Are they both working? Like, if they're both working a full-time job, okay, yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, I don't think you should have to clean up after somebody else like that. That's ridiculous. If you're both working, full-time jobs and paying the bills equally, then there needs to be a fair split to the chores. And if he's decided to try to, saddle you with the whole thing, then yeah. Tell him to go fuck himself.
That's
absolutely. That's pretty reasonable. Now, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're not doing any work and he's doing all the work and paying all the bills and all this other stuff, then, get a fucking job or fucking do all the laundry and do all the cooking and the cleaning. Like, that's a fair break of the responsibilities,
Yeah. Yeah, the really odd thing about that one, how much more is just doing his shit adding to what you're already doing? Like, it's like if you're already doing laundry, putting his shit in with it, or cooking, you have to make a little bit more.
Yeah, I saw that on one of the ones where, like, this lady was in the middle of making eggs and her husband came up and asked for eggs. She's like, no, I'm making it for me and my daughter. That's it. Not for you. And it's like, well, is it really that hard to just throw in another couple of eggs? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't understand why that's a problem. He wants them cooked differently. Well, yeah, you already got the pan out. Just fry a couple eggs after you scramble yours. By the time his are fried, yours will be ready to eat and they won't be too hot. Like, I don't understand why we're mad about this.
Yeah, it's just people that go out of their way to angry and offended.
Man.
Pretty common nowadays.
Oh God, there was one where this girl was throwing a temper tantrum because he wouldn't go out and get pizza with her. He wouldn't buy her pizza because they just went and bought groceries. And he's like, we just bought groceries. I'm not gonna go fucking throw down another like $50 on a goddamn pizza.
Again, make something. Or
Yeah.
let's make something together. Yeah.
I just bought like a thing specifically for keeping leftovers to make them easier to like store and eat. Like what the fuck is it called? Hold on a second. Let me look this up. What is it called? It's actually a really cool idea, and I was like, oh, this is actually makes a lot of sense. It's the silicone freezer tray with lid. I'm trying to find out what the actual like name is. It's like the Super Cube, but spelled SOUPER, and it's just a ice cube tray that has 4 1-cup rectangular cubes. So you put it there, and you got like 4 bowls of soup that you freeze into cubes, so you can put them in a bag and label them and put them in your freezer. So they're easier to store and manage. You're not like trying to like save soup in a bag or something like that, or put it in a container that has to stay in, because it's silicone, so you can just pop the cubes out and go back to whatever it was you were doing.
All right. Pretty good.
It's nice because hey, how many times have you had like beef stew or chicken soup or whatever kind of soup you're a fan of, if you're making a big batch of it, or like like a big batch of homemade chili or something, and you got like 1 or 2 bowls left, and nobody really wants them left over, like nobody wants to eat them for leftovers, so they end up sitting in the fridge forever and they go bad. It's hey, if I can stick it in the freezer, then in 2 weeks when I want it again, I can just pull one of these out, throw it in a bowl, and microwave it for 3 minutes. And I got
it's already portioned out into 4 bowls.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can even make a whole big batch of stew intentionally, making extra, and then save a bunch for another meal, so that the next time you want to make stew, you just get it out of the freezer.
Indeed.
And we do a lot of that stuff with other meals already, and I'm like, this is just going to make it so much simpler to do with like the cubes. And then like I guess you can bake in it too if you wanted to. Like you can use it as like a baking tray because it's silicone. But like I don't know that there's ever going to be a situation in which we're making like weird little rectangular loaves of bread like that.
Right.
But
it's nice to have the option, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just thinking, man, nice to have the option. Can't hurt. What was it? Let me see here. Look at the thing here. I know we got other stuff on here. I couldn't stay awake to watch the cowboy thing, unfortunately. I'll have to try that again another time. I was too sleepy.
Yeah. Oh, the
Robert
one that I was
Redford's
talking about,
was
Billy
just
the
too
Kid.
comforting and soothing, and then I just started nodding off.
Man. But yeah, I never knew that fucking Billy the Kid was born in New York City. I had no fucking idea.
New York City! Like the
Hell's Kitchen at that.
That was pretty crazy, yeah. But that was one of the major places, I'm sure a lot of people going out west came from New York. Oh yeah, what? We're supposed to disinfect the toilet at work after every time we use it, by the way. I think I've said that before.
Oh, wow. Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, and the other one, what is the other one? You put a line of tape down in one section of the office now, and the clients are not to go past that line of tape when they come in.
Wow.
Yeah, everything is just getting more and more like neurotic and shit.
She's like, I don't know what needs to be done, but I have.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So those people.
So some random company that nobody knows about because it's like they're so like behind closed doors kind of thing got
Right.
$1.5 billion in Bitcoin stolen from them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Because that shit's impossible to track, right?
So yeah, I don't know if that's ever gonna get resolved, like if they're ever gonna fucking catch whoever did it or not, but odds are pretty low, and that's a lot of fucking money. Like, yikes.
Wow. 0.5 billion.
$1.5 billion in cryptocurrency stolen. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Because there's a lot of cryptocurrency in the world, and you know, odds are they're not gonna spend a ton of it. Like, you know, like I don't think they can spend 1.5 billion all at once.
Yeah, the only way they could get caught if they do some crazy fucking splash purchases. Like,
Well,
hey, you went
even
from
then,
having
how do
nothing
you
to
track
spending
it?
billions.
It's not like they're going through banks. Like, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, it's highly unlikely. Like, they're going to have to fuck up really bad to get.
Yeah, they're definitely going to. You know what? The likeliest way of them getting caught is probably going to be if they brag about it to somebody. Probably to some fucking hooker somewhere.
Right. Or some online forum where there's
escort or something. Yeah, like, yeah, or an online forum. Yeah, like they're on like, I'm on Reddit. I'm the guy that fucking stole 1.5 billion. Ask me anything.
Yeah.
And then the people who work for the company are going to be like desperately tracking his fucking IP. You're like, oh, okay.
God damn, dude. I'd hate to be the one that's the blame for that. Like, oh, it was me that fucked up and lost you guys at 1.5. Bad. Sorry about that.
I don't know. I don't know that it's one individual that fucked up. I think it was like the system was bad or something. But it's all mostly above my head anyway. Essentially, what happened is they have cold wallets and warm wallets. And a cold wallet is entirely offline, so it's never connected to the internet unless you're actively using it right that moment, right?
Right.
Like, essentially, it's like having like a portable hard drive, and then they just, you know, whenever they need it, they you know, connect it and withdraw the accounts into a warm wallet that stays online, and that's where they normally spend their money. So they were in the middle of transferring from the cold wallet to the warm wallet so they'd have funds for whatever it was that they were going to do, and then they somehow managed to get 1.5 billion of that crypto in the process of it being transferred. So I don't know if they'll ever catch those guys. That's got to be pretty fucking hard to do, I imagine.
Almost sounds like an inside job, doesn't it? Like, how do you fucking know to do that?
That's a good point. Yeah. Maybe some of them used to work for that company, or had something to do with. Like, I wouldn't want to be one of the people that invented that system or set up all the protocols or anything. Because I imagine there's going to be some hard questions asked about that. And this is not a big public company that everybody knows. So I imagine they're not going to be asked in a very polite way with lawyers. I think they're going to be asked with the end of a fucking blowtorch.
Right. Yeah, that kind of money. That's not the kind that you're just like, oh, God. Oh well, they got us.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, you're gonna want to torture these guys if you come across.
Yeah, I think they you know, like whoever was involved with setting up that system is definitely worried right now.
Gotta be sweating it out a little. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see what else is there. There was some other interesting stuff that I put in there. Oh, so the video, apparently people have seen the video for Carmelo. You posted that one. But they haven't.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched the video.
Well, it's not released to the public. It's only been released to certain news outlets right now. Like, they've been allowed to watch it. But from the way it was described in the video you posted, what do you call it?
He wasn't exactly all that provoked. Yeah.
There was no provocation at all. Yeah, he just stabbed the kid out of nowhere. Like there may or may not have been words exchanged, but there was no violence of any kind whatsoever. He was absolutely not defending himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, it sounds like he was asked to leave. The guy walked closer, and then he just stabbed him out of nowhere, like, just fucking randomly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the impression I got. Like, yeah, it wasn't even coming at him.
Which is what we all thought.
Yeah, it's not that surprising. Yeah.
Like, this is what we all thought was the case. Like, that's what I thought was the case. I'm like, I sincerely doubt there was any physical altercation at all. He just went to go kill somebody. Like, he took a knife to school because he was like, I'm going to kill somebody today, and that was the unfortunate bastard that ended up getting killed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because it's weird to begin with. So, yeah, it definitely seems like some premeditated shit. Like, I'm going to kill a fucking white boy.
Yeah, I think it was definitely premeditated, very, very much so. Definitely premeditated. And he also knew he wasn't supposed to be where he was.
Yeah.
You know, he knew that was like the opposing team's tent, and that he wasn't supposed to be there, and that was for the other team. So, like, I think it's murder in the first degree. Like, that's what they charged him with, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, and then his mom all upset that his family's... Yeah, that's kind of fucked up, but it's also your son's...
Well, they're no better than he is, honestly. Like, they're trying to profiteer off of it. There's some people talking about there's laws against profiting off of crime. Like you can't write a book about it and make a bunch of money. You can't sell the rights and make a bunch of money.
Right.
So it's like OJ was allowed to do all that shit because he won the case. Like he was found not guilty, so he could get away with all that crazy shit that he did. If I did it, this is how it would have happened. You know, like, okay, we all know you did.
Right. Yeah, that was creepy, dude. Like, yep, I got away with it, so I'm gonna throw this in there. Like, okay, this is totally fan fiction. I mean, if I did do it. And then he just writes out exactly what fucking happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
And then double jeopardy, so they can't go after him for it again.
Indeed.
Because at that point, he literally could have just said, yeah, it was me, motherfucker. I did it. You can't do shit about it.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the case there.
Yeah, I do like that they, because he lost, so he owed money, and then gold kids waiters.
Oh, you started
basically got
flipping in and out there for a second.
Oh shit. Yeah, so basically, you know, the Ron Goldman's dad got the rights to the book. The If I Did It book, and then that's why it says like I did it, and then in the I, the first letter I, and I did it, it says if, like really hard to read. So it looks like it just says I did it.
To make it look like he was. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a small victory. I mean, it's not. You know, I'm
sure
it's
your son's still dead.
But you know,
yeah, your son's dead either way. But nice to get a nice dig like that back at him.
Yeah. Oh, I found out my uncle was in the hospital with a brain bleed.
Good. Well, goddamn.
So yeah, so apparently he works at a like an apartment complex, and he basically is like the maintenance guy, and these people are like on some sort of assisted living. That's how they live there, whatever, I think. And he had to go and ask some people to quiet down, and the guy just punched him in the face instead. Broke his nose, and he ended up in the hospital with like some brain damage. Very, very minor. He's fine now, it looks like.
Right.
But he has like no
God
medical
damn.
coverage or anything like that. That basically he just gets to live there in exchange for doing maintenance.
Wow. That's fucked up.
Which is not legally how it's supposed to work in that case, by the way. But like nobody's gonna listen to me, so.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's actually like one of the things I was looking into when I was looking for other jobs similar to where I work. And,
Right.
And the deal is, if you live where you work, because there's a lot of houses out there that'll like have somebody that lives on site. If you live where you work, they have to pay you a certain amount of money above room and board, regardless of what they think room and board costs.
Gotcha.
So they can't lowball you and basically have you working for free, which is what they have with my uncle.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
So they
like
can't
you would,
claim
you know,
much,
you would
yeah.
understand. Like there's a minimum amount of money they have to pay you beyond like room and board. And
Yeah, otherwise
to
you can
be,
just claim the room and board cost is whatever they were supposed to pay him as a.
Yeah, and there also has to be times that you're not working. Like there has to be, I think it's like 10 hours a day where you're like not available, and
Yeah, not on
make
call
you
or
be
anything.
available, regardless of what for, kind of thing. But it's like we all know that's bullshit. I think instinctively. Like, I'm sure you understand. Like, I'm sure, like, if I worked at a group home and they were like, oh, yeah, from this hour to this hour, you're not available. I don't believe for a second that they're going to respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna push that if they can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're going to fucking... They're going to have you be watching the clients all the time, basically. You should be there 24/7, like a slave. That's what I realized when I was looking for those other jobs. I was like, it's like a cool idea, to have my own little place out back and fucking sleep there. I'd have my own room or whatever, and I'd get paid. But there's no way they're gonna stop when the clock is actually stopped. They're gonna be harassing me to work there all the time.
Yeah.
There's never gonna be a time when I'm free to do what I want to do. Like, I'd never get to go hang out with my friends and leave for, like, several hours at a time. They'd be like, why weren't you here when we needed you?
Oh, shit. Was it you that posted that one where the girl said that 8 guys that... And she was pretty average looking? Like, she wasn't all that... attractive?
Maybe? I don't know. There's a lot of those videos.
Yeah, it's the one that says, who's going to tell? I think that was the one.
I think I posted that one, yeah. Yeah, that one was pretty funny.
I'm like, yeah, you're not ugly, but she's not super hot or... You know what I mean? She's 6, maybe a 7. She's like, I'm not dating anyone less than $50 million.
It's like these people that think they're so attractive, and they're absolutely not. And it's like, I don't understand where the delusion comes in. The girl I'm talking about, she has a picture of her face on the in her Discord picture is like a picture of her face, like her actual face, and she's like, I don't know, a 7. And I'm like, you're not gonna make money on OnlyFans. Like, you're not. Nobody knows who you are, and you're not ridiculously attractive. You're just gonna put naked pictures out on the internet, and if you're lucky, no one will see them. If you're unlucky, you'll make like $40, and then realize that that's not a viable career.
Yeah, it's like you were saying earlier. Famous somewhere else, it's probably gonna work.
Yeah, and I'm not saying she's not attractive. I'm just saying she's not like stunningly.
Yeah, well, no, it's a numbers thing. There's too many women doing that shit to think that you're definitely gonna make it. Is delusional.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you might, but the odds are overwhelmingly against.
Well, the thing is, like, you might. So your best bet would be to do Instagram thirst traps or Twitter thirst traps or Twitch streaming with thirst trapping there, and build an audience before you do OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
then you have a chance of making it into something you could actually sustain as a career. But you're gonna have to keep doing those other things as well. You have to keep bringing in new customers because a lot of people are gonna be like, sign up for a month or two and then probably just to be done. Like they don't care anymore. They've seen you naked. They're done. They move on to the next chick. You know.
yeah, yeah.
It's like the people that are successful doing it have a social media presence outside of OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're gonna have some kind of fan base. If you're gonna to make it on OnlyFans.
And some people make it who are not particularly attractive because they have such a
Oh
large
yeah.
fan base that just I guess wants to pay to see them naked, like for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
understand
all.
why anybody pays for any of them. It's just fucking
Yeah,
retarded.
considering the amount of free porn and shit out there,
I
it's
mean,
shocking to me that
insane.
anybody bothers with it. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think one of the channels that I actually am subscribed to their Patreon for, and this is not, they don't do porn. They do like react videos to like funny videos, and they're just like very entertaining to watch. And they come up with all sorts of
Yeah.
bizarre things to do for videos that are fun. And but suddenly they got kicked off of YouTube, so they stopped having a huge influx of new people on their Patreon. But the woman, the wife or the girlfriend, I don't know if they're married yet or not. I think they're not married, but the girlfriend has a Twitch channel that she has that's somewhat successful. So I think they're still making enough money off of that. But I've seen that they went for having this really nice house in up in Washington to an apartment in Southern California again. Like they downgraded from a home to an apartment, and suddenly some of the Patreon content is getting a lot spicier.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, are they on the OnlyFans path because they have no other fucking marketable skills or talents?
Right.
Like,
sounds like that's where it's headed.
Is this eventually going to get to like some like risque pictures and then seeing her titties? Like, is this what's going on? Oh, this is so sad, but at the same time so entertaining because I'm a horrible person and I want to watch the fucking train wreck. Like, I could care less about seeing her naked. I don't give a shit. There's so many people out there, but it'll be really entertaining to see if this keeps going and with her getting more and more spicy and more sexy until they're starting to do like OnlyFans or something similar.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocking.
Like, I don't think it's likely that they'll end up doing anything like nude or hardcore. Like, at the most, it'll probably be like bikini pictures or something. But it'll still be funny because they're a lot of their brand is based on dirty jokes, but being actually wholesome people. And
right.
Nobody. I don't know why people believe these people. Like, no, we all knew that it wasn't true. So it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I want to play along.
Yeah. All their videos are like funny shit where like the if there's sexual content, it's from a guest that's like a friend of theirs that's on the video, who like shows their ass or something, like just like in a thong, pants or something, or
right.
like a thong or whatever. Like their butt will be hanging out, or they'll have like a lot of cleavage, but there's never any nudity. Or they'll play with sex dolls. Like they did a drinking game where they had to try to pose the sex dolls in like random poses from the Kama Sutra.
All right.
Yeah, it's
kind of
entertaining, but mostly I just watched for like the funny video collections because like sometimes it's nice to just watch like 20 minutes of like silly videos with like people going, that shit was hilarious, right? And you're like, yeah, it was. But for $5 a month, I get to see an extra video, and I was like, that's fair, whatever. I don't watch the ads. I'll support these people. I like their content. But I'm waiting to see if they end up going the OF route type thing. It's be pretty funny. I got that cool Mario mug. It looks like the bricks with one of the pipes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Trying to drink tea again. I can never get into drinking tea because it just tastes like dirty water. But I'm giving it a shot, giving it a go.
Yeah. Yeah, it took way too much sugar.
I found these little packets that have like a little bit of sugar and milk mixed together in them. And
gotcha.
It seems to be that like one of those is good for like a cup of tea, and it's only like 90 calories, so it's like 15 or 16 grams of sugar per one.
Gotcha.
But it's literally just milk and sugar that's been cooked down a little bit, so it's kind of like a little more condensed, and it comes in like a little packet, so it's like easy to not get too much in there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm thinking growing up, the only tea was sick. Yeah. It would be like tea and toast if I was sick.
Oh,
that's about it.
I'm trying to get into like tea before bed because I don't do caffeine. So like caffeine is definitely out. So I'm getting teas that are like peppermint and chamomile and stuff like that. And they seem to have a lot more flavor than the ones that I've tried before. Like I've tried regular tea and like black tea and red tea, and they all taste like slightly dirty water. But there was like an orange spice tea that I bought, and that actually had like some flavor to it. And then with the little packet of milk stuff, it was tolerable, almost enjoyable. Nice.
It reminds me of in rehab, detoxing and not able to sleep for like days at a time. Like one of the nurses who clearly didn't know. And I'm like, I'm detoxing from opiates. Do you have any idea what that means? Clearly not, I guess. Obviously, if chamomile tea was going to do the trick.
Why wouldn't chamomile work? What do you mean? How could that not be enough to just knock you right out, man?
Yeah.
That's so fucking... Oh my god. Literally detoxing from opiates. They're like, here's some fucking chamomile tea. That's like the fucking...
I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying and I can't sleep at all. I desperately want to sleep and I feel like I'm dying. And I can't go to sleep. But yeah, no, I'm sure chamomile.
So fucking dumb. That was a thing for the longest time where I worked. We had this place called PES. They renamed it now, but it was Psychiatric Emergency Services. And whenever you had an issue with a client, you would call them. And depending on what the issue was, like maybe you were late giving them meds, and you had to go call a prescribing nurse at the bare minimum to make sure that it was okay and safe for them to take their meds late.
Right.
Like there's a med window. If you pass the med window, you have to get it early. Or if they want something that they're not prescribed, like so a client just gets put in the house, they have all their psych meds prescribed, but they don't have antacids and like ibuprofen and acetaminophen. None of that's been prescribed yet. And if it's not prescribed, they can't take it. We can't give it to them. It has to have a prescription.
Yeah, it all has to be signed off on. Yeah.
And so we would call PES and be like, hey, can they take some ibuprofen? Here's their list of medications. They just moved in, so we don't have it authorized yet. Sorry. Because they'd always be mad that we were asking. And it's like, look, this is licensing. We don't have a fucking choice. If you don't like it, talk to the fucking people that wrote the license.
Right. Yeah, and also, this is your fucking job, assholes.
Yeah, it was
This is why
really
your job
fucking
is this,
obnoxious. It was
fucking prick.
really fucking obnoxious. But so we would
Yeah,
end
so
up
I
like,
don't know. I don't know. Dude, hold on. That really bugs me. This is like, what would you for that? Their job doesn't exist because it's necessary?
yeah,
Like, you know
no,
what I mean? Like, what the fuck would you? Why would they have a pro? Okay, sorry. That really bugs.
it
All
was
right,
it
go
was
ahead.
absolutely fucking obnoxious. It was incredibly obnoxious. I'm not, yeah, like no question as to that. Um, but one of the things that they would do is they would constantly try to get you to resolve things without the client going there and doing the 48-hour observation thing. And so
Oh,
like there were
gotcha.
times, literally times when I called in, I called in, oh, my client made a suicide attempt. She, they tried to run into the bathroom and drink this poison. Oh, well, you should mix them a cup of tea, sit down and have a conversation over, and sign a contract that says I
Wow.
won't hurt myself. And
Oh, wow.
no,
That's fucking evil, dude.
they need to
Wow.
go to the
Mm,
fucking. It's like, no, they need to go to the fucking asylum, and they need to be held for observation for 48
yeah.
hours. They're not safe here. This is way beyond. I'm a counselor, not a therapist. This is way beyond my pay grade. You can't expect me to handle this. You're
Yeah.
out of your mind. Um,
Like, sorry, that's a lot of paperwork, and I'd rather not do that.
oh, it
I'm
was
comfortable
absolutely
with the
insane. It
person
was so
killing
fucking
himself.
ridiculous that they would even ask.
Yeah, I would much rather that person kill themselves than for me to have to, do any work.
Well,
Jesus
they had a very
Christ.
limited number of beds, and they didn't want them to fill up. They wanted to keep them open as long as possible for the worst possible cases. I respected that, but at the same time, it's like, look, my client's in danger, and I'm not going to keep them here. It's not safe for them to
Yeah,
be
what?
here.
Yeah.
So,
How is that not one of the worst possible cases?
you know what? I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, I try to be
Yeah,
as
yeah,
understanding as I can.
yeah. No, I get it, but I mean, what's worse than potential death of a fucking person?
Yeah,
Like a pretty likely death. You know what I mean? Like they already were trying to kill themselves.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry,
No.
I keep getting hung up on.
That's what I was. That's what I said.
Mhm.
I literally was like, no, they tried to kill themselves. They're not safe here. A cup of fucking tea isn't going to solve the fucking problem.
Yeah.
They're going to go up there, and you're going to take them. I literally yelled, shoot them out over the phone. I yelled at them. Yeah, I was like, we're not playing this game. Like, no, they're going there.
Right. Like, yeah, this isn't a discussion, dude. This
This is what's going to occur.
yeah.
And so it was one of those kind of things. But it was like that just reminded me because like that was everything that ever happened was like fix them a cup of tea, and it's like, do you not realize that a cup of tea doesn't actually fucking do anything? Like that's just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
But that was some pretty funny shit. Like just like the
God damn.
delusional aspect
Yeah,
of
that's
like
not. Normally, I had posted this yesterday. But I think I would actually watch a video of Larson playing video games. Like, I don't have a foot fetish or anything, but like I feel like her toes are long enough in that she probably might be able to do it.
I remember. Yeah, that was actually that actually works. It makes a weird sort of sense actually.
Mm-hmm. Like, those things are so long that she could probably figure out a way to use standard.
That's actually a
those
joke
long
I've
ass
made multiple
freaking long
times. Not for her specifically. Where I've told people like, oh yeah, you want to play this game and that game at the same time, just play one with your hands and the other with your feet. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. If you got the toes for it.
yeah. She might actually be able to achieve that, like in real life, as opposed to like.
Yeah. Yeah. I can post a picture if you don't remember what feet look.
No, I'm good. I don't need to see your feet. I'm not a foot guy. Feet are fucking gross.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh damn.
I'm an
Yeah, no,
opposite
that's
of a
what I
foot guy.
posted on that video. I'm like, look, I don't have a foot fetish. Like, I would actually watch that if I was able to play it with her feet. Not the whole thing. I'd watch like a minute or two of it.
Like, I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to give, like, if I was dating some chick, I wouldn't want to, like, giving her, I wouldn't really be interested in giving her foot rubs.
Right.
Like, I mean, I know I can, but, you know, like, not really a big fan of touching my own feet, for that matter.
Right. Damn. Yeah, it would feel like massaging like.
Especially massaging, like, after a long day at work or something, like sweaty, gross feet from the shoes. Oh, that's just not. It's not a problem.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I mean, if I'm getting blowjobs, I can understand that. Like, I'm like, all right, I can see why that would be.
Yeah, that's somewhat fair trade.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand that, but, like, I mean, I'm not doing it because it's, like, something I would enjoy. I'm doing it because it's something that my partner would really enjoy, and it would be worth it to me because, you know, like, I get stuff out of that too, kind of thing.
Right.
Transactional thing or whatever. God,
yeah. What about the apartments these people built in the station? I thought that was pretty fucking funny, dude.
The what? Sorry, you cut out at the beginning of that. Sorry.
Oh, the one where they built in California. They built they built themselves.
Yeah, they built themselves apartments
station.
in the train stations. Like, one built their apartment in one train station, another built their apartment in a different one. I thought that was brilliant. I thought.
Yeah.
The people that were broadcasting and talking about it were kind of fucking retarded when they were like, I don't know why they put it in two different places. I'm like, because two apartments in one place would be a lot more suspicious than one apartment in each place. Like, it's easier to hide one in each place than both in one. Like, that obviously makes sense. Like, there's only so much square footage you can take from a train station without the people that are, like, in charge realizing, like, hey, this is awfully short compared to what I thought it would look like.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty ingenious. I would be tempted as a judge to be like, "Fuck, it's pretty well done. I'm gonna let you off."
I would look at it as all right. You're gonna have to pay the money you took back from the taxpayers.
Right.
You're gonna have to do a little bit of time in jail, like a month, and then
or at least probation or something. Yeah,
or some probation or something, community service, and you're gonna have to purchase that square footage. Like we're gonna require you to pay for that square footage, and you keep your apartment, but you're gonna have to pay for that square footage. You have to work out some sort of loan to pay for that.
Yeah, pay property taxes.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty fair.
Because technically,
yeah, I forgot they did kind of embezzle
sort of squatters' rights to those apartments at this point.
Yeah, you would think so.
Well,
yeah,
they occupied it without anybody arguing against it or taking or going after them or asking them to leave. They improved.
Yeah, it was like 4 years, right?
They improved it so that it's livable and habitable, and according to the laws of the way that shit works, they actually do legally have a right to that property.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that they would win that in court? No, because they're going
probably
against
not.
The system, and the system is just going to automatically exclude them. But, like, legally speaking, they absolutely do.
Yeah, I would think if they had paid for everything, if they hadn't embezzled building materials and all that, they may have a bit of a case. But since they kind of robbed the place to do that, I guess that's probably why.
That's where it breaks down. That's the problem mainly, is that they stole to do it. But I thought it was still, I think we can both agree that was clever as fuck. That was brilliant.
Yeah, no, it was definitely impressive. That's
like the way I look at it is they're like the heroes that I would emulate if I
Right.
for some reason was like
Like, damn.
lost my place to live and was out like living on the
Yeah.
street. It's like, yeah, I could live on the street in my car, or I could like find a place and fucking build a place to live like where nobody else is bothering. You know what I mean? Like, I would definitely be like one of those people that built like a little fucking cabin somewhere, like a little fucking apartment in the back of a sign or something. You know, like where it's like, there's this
Indeed.
building that already exists and nobody lives there or does anything. Nobody fucking cares about it or comes out and looks at it. And why wouldn't I?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those like, or you know what I mean. Been in a position to think of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a house now, so obviously it'd be like, why would I downgrade? But
Yeah, yeah. But if I wasn't, I like to think I could do that.
I don't think I could do the point where what they did, like
Yeah,
actually get like a whole apartment. But there was a
yeah, yeah.
guy who lived in like a space that was up in like the wall of a fucking subway, like an underground like railroad fucking tunnel. And he had managed to get like power and everything, and I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, there was that one like it was space between somehow led to the big open area, and like the I guess people that worked there found it somehow, and like they got away with it for too. And then
Oh, the mall. You're talking about the
basically,
mall one, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. And like the reason they got caught is because like they had a rule like they'd only night around where they could safely sneak in without being seen. And then one
Yeah,
guy
they
was like,
started
"Yeah, this
involving a
chick came
girl,
from out of
right? There was
town."
like a woman got involved, and
Yeah,
that's when it all went
yeah,
down.
yeah. Well, yeah. There was a chick that was in from out of town to show it off, and she was leaving before, time when they would normally, that they set up. So he tried to sneak her in during the day, and that's how they got busted.
Yeah, yeah, because their whole thing was like, yeah, don't go in during the day, go in only at night. Yeah, you're right. I remember that. Yeah, that was so sad. They've gotten
Yeah,
away with it,
but
and
yeah,
it
they got
wasn't
away
even
with that
like
one
they
for quite a
didn't
while.
use area or that was anything that was ever
Yeah,
going to get used. It was literally like dead
yeah,
space between buildings and stuff. Like just because the way it was all like designed left dead space there, and they were like, "Fuck it, let's use the dead space," and they did.
yeah, yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, I don't know, man. I love those kind of things, but I understand that like you can't legally allow that to keep going on. Like you have to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You understand why they got busted, why it had to be ended, but it's still a good story.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely they're gonna be fucking eating out on that one forever, dude.
Mm.
Like that's one of those like it's never gonna not be something that you can that people want to hear at a dinner party.
God damn. Yeah, I think the worst thing they were doing was like electricity off of. I mean,
Yeah, they were leaching electricity, but that's such a minor.
yeah. Again, and yeah, for
Yeah.
the amount of electricity a mall uses for all, yeah, it's a pretty minor amount they were using to run their PlayStation, whatever
Their
PlayStation they had at the
PlayStation, their TV, and their lights, yeah, and their AC system or whatever.
time. Yeah. But yeah, those kind of stories are always
You know, and it's like,
pretty entertaining.
you don't want to encourage it, but at the same time, it's like, those are the kind of people you should hire for stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that kind of ingenuity should be
Like if they're able to figure
focused
that
elsewhere.
shit out, like, why
Yeah,
are you not
yeah,
having them work for you, bro?
yeah. Focus it in a positive direction. Just present them with problems and let them find their unique way of out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit! Did you ever watch the? I had never seen Sarah Boone pre-sentencing fucking statement before. Like I'd seen her on the stand, I'd seen
Oh yeah, I'm not
and all
surprised
that.
she would shoot herself in the foot even more.
Yeah, yeah, it was fucking yeah. That level of is just fascinating to me.
Oh man.
Like all she had to do, like she probably wouldn't have gotten straight up life and if she could have just kept her fucking mouth shut. Yeah. Oh, and in fact, I forgot about that too. They had actually offered her a plea deal of 15 years, and she had already been in jail for like 6. So, like with time served and all that, and getting out early or whatever, she probably won't only have to do like 4 more years, 4 or 5 more years, maybe
Wow.
6. And she turned it down. She was so that she was going to trick everybody. That everybody was going to buy her bullshit.
Yeah, that was the thing that blew my mind out of the whole thing. Was like she could have fucking skated on that one like so much easier than what she got. But you know what? Thank God that people like her are so fucking dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if at least she's not getting away with it. At least that guy gets, there's some justice for his family. Although, frankly, I think that they should just lock her in a room and forget about her. But because I think that's what she deserves. But they're not going to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine that she's a constant pain in the prison workers and shit, just complaining about, just carrying out on every thing.
Oh yeah, most likely. Yeah, I'm sure she's constantly like a thorn in everyone's side.
Dude, I remember just hearing the letters she wrote.
Oh, I don't think I ever heard the letters she wrote. I assume they're like absolutely insane though.
Yeah. It's the same type of shit. Yeah, in letter form.
Good Lord. Talk about unself-aware.
Yeah. And I remember they were like, when they were talking about the suitcase, they had the suitcase there. And I forget which, I think it was one of the behavior was about. And they were like, if I was her attorney, I would never allow her to go up and try to zip up and show how she zipped up the fucking suitcase. And Sarah Boone's the one that offered to do it. And so like she's trying to zip it up, and it's all tough and catchy, like it's really hard to zip up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. Because I remember one of the guys was like, "No, that's one of the getting really expensive luggage is a zipper that zips up really easy, as opposed to the cheap, shitty luggage that she tied her, zipped her fucking boyfriend up in."
Wow.
He's like, I don't know why her lawyer
to go up
said,
and
no,
do it
we're
in
not
front of
doing
the
that.
fucking
Yeah.
like,
It wasn't even the prosecutor's idea. She was just, you want me to show you? And then it was like fucking
a crime that killed somebody.
Yeah, let me show you how easy.
That's not chilling and disturbing.
Yeah. Well, again, she was the whole time was claiming.
So self-defense. I forget. Yeah, that ridiculous. Like, self-defense.
Yeah.
I locked him in there because I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, early on, she was like, I expected him to come any time. I left a little bit open. Yeah, well, her story changed, like, obviously, but, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, liars always have to change their story all the time because, as the lie breaks down, they got to change it to up and be like, oh, no, I mean, this instead.
Yeah, they have to win. They have to fool you. They have to think they're.
Yeah. That's the thing that gets really fucking obnoxious when you're dealing with players. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're just like
Dude, just
constantly
admit you
fucking
fucked up.
like making new shit up, and you're like, I know you're making this up. Like, why are you wasting my time?
Yeah. Yeah, and then again, they're just obstinate until you give up. For the most part, like if you listen to the way fucking. I didn't know anything about Bollox before the whole thing blew up between him and Nick and all them.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really glad because again, listening to that dude try to fucking debate or argue anything is absolutely insufferable, dude. Yeah.
One of the things that kind of blew my mind about that whole situation was how many times he would be like on a stream or something. Like, because I see these clips of it, like they're treating him like absolute garbage because they obviously don't fucking like him. And he's
I think Augie
not
did.
getting the hint. Like he's not. Like he's like not. Like why are you still here? Like I think one of them even asked like why are you still fucking here? Like
No, that wasn't wasn't
somebody else. Okay, I
else.
listen mostly. I don't watch.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but it wasn't that one. I know which one you're. But no, I think Augie actually liked him. Nick said like, yeah, no. I don't think Nick actually liked him. I think Nick tolerated him because Augie liked him. I think it was more of that kind of situation.
Yeah. Like,
then Nick actually liked him.
I'm gonna put up with you because my friend is your friend, and I don't want to rock the fucking boat.
Yeah. I could be wrong. I mean, Nick does say they were friends, but I don't. It didn't seem that way. It didn't seem like Nick liked him.
Is Nick capable of having friends? Are we sure about that?
I don't know. Maybe
seems
not.
Like a pretty fucking rough guy to be friends with, man.
Yeah, well, he's going to be brutally honest, I think. Which it's not necessarily bad.
That's true. Yeah,
I think
having a friend that's honest with
people.
you is definitely not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, he seems to get along with enough people. But yeah, I don't think he definitely doesn't bullshit very well. So like Bollox, or when he found out what like Mudahar's are full of shit. But up until he does, he seems they seem to get along with these people. Until they reveal themselves to be trash.
Well, I mean that's a pretty common YouTuber trait.
Yeah, this is true.
A lot of YouTubers are just fucking hot garbage. It's one of those things like that has always been weird to me is how many people like are so interested and attracted to like various different like celebrities and performers of various different kinds, like whether they're like rock stars or YouTubers or VTubers
actors,
or traditional
whatever.
actors or comedians. It's like I don't understand why, like, how these people have such affection. Because I'm like, you don't even really know that person, and because of the industry they're in, there's an extremely good chance that person is narcissistic and shitty to be around, and is just not a fun person to hang around.
It's exceedingly rare that decent people in Hollywood.
Well, no, I don't think it's rare. I think that it's like once you reach a certain level of fame, it's exceedingly rare for those people to be normal. I think there's probably a lot of very, very low-level people who are totally cool. You know what I mean? Like the people that are like the extras and shit. Like, there's probably a ton of people who work as like fucking guy in store. You know, like there's probably a ton of those people who are fucking awesome to hang out with, and they're like tell great stories, and they're super fun to be around, and they're really polite and friendly to everybody. Like, those people are probably true, like in Hollywood. Those are the people who I hang out with. The stunt guys.
Yeah.
You want to hang out with.
the people that haven't.
But the actual celebrities they're like a very small percentage of Hollywood. But those people, fuck those people. I don't think you want to hang out with them. Like Bill Murray's awesome. I love Bill Murray in his movies and in his shows that he's been in. And I think he's fucking hilarious. I don't ever want to hang out with Bill Murray.
Right. Right.
Number one, I just don't know him, and I don't think he would want to hang out with me. So it's not like I think there's anything like specifically wrong with Bill Murray individually. I think there's a pretty good chance that he'd be really out of touch and fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. 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 So when I'm saying like in Hollywood, I'm talking about people that just haven't lived in. Like, haven't really had, work 9 to 5 or entertainers overall. So actors, musicians, the online, content creators, athletes, I put kind of in the same category.
Oh, what are those fucking gun tuber crowd? They sound fucking obnoxious. Like donut operator and fucking fat electrician, like don't get me wrong, I think they do great content. I love their content.
Right,
but
right.
like I watch the podcast where they're all hanging out and talking with each other, and literally every single one of them, they're up each other's asses, like so fast. Like about how amazing they just start going off like on how amazing they are and how awesome all the things they do are and stuff, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, I like your content, but saving them.
Yeah, it's so crazy, like how fucking conceited they all sound to me, at least.
Yeah, that's similar to actors thinking changing. You know what I mean?
That's why I stopped watching the what's his name, Kevin Pollock's podcast. Actually, like I like the long form because he did like long form interviews with celebrities like Joe Rogan, but without any like the any political leaning. It's all strictly artistic acting stuff. They don't really go into any politics at all, which was kind of nice. They just talk about films and television and music and stuff like that. And how Hollywood works behind the scenes too, as well as part of it too. And I thought that was great, but it was also just like a constant fawning,
everybody how great they are.
Asshole of this guy because he's super famous and shit, and just got real fucking. It's like, yeah, the reason we want to watch you interview Tom Hanks is a really, really funny actor, and everybody really likes the work that he's done, and justifiably so. He's very, very talented, very, very skilled. But I don't need to hear you up his asshole for 2 hours.
Yeah, we all know he's great.
It kind of gets old.
We all know he's great at his job. Just let us find something else.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find out other stuff.
Him as a human being.
Like, what was it? The most recent one I saw. I started watching one of those podcasts from the GunTuber guys, and it was the guy that's outing the Buffalo school system because I guess they're covering up like kids being abused and raped and shit.
Yeah, that shit's fucking disturbing.
And kudos to him bringing it up, but like they went on there, and then after 5 minutes, it was the same stories of how awesome they were. Like, and the title of the thing was they were talking about like him and the school system again, and it's like, oh, I wanted more information. Is there new information? Oh no, it's just a jack off fest where they fucking everybody's got their hands on somebody else's dick and they're all in a circle jerking each other off,
Right. Yeah. Like, no, I want to hear more about the actual.
Yeah, I want to hear what's going on with the Buffalo school system. Is there any lawyers involved for the families of the victims? Are there? Is there any move to start removing some of these administrators from the schools? Like, are they going to start pulling the principals out and replacing them? Or are they going to start getting rid of some of the police that were involved in assisting in these cover-ups? Like what's going on?
Nope. We got to hear about how talking about the story.
How many times they went out and got drunk and partied in Vegas, and how cool it was. Thanks. That's great.
I don't know. I like the story about him break up Ida, his donut operator's story.
Oh yeah,
Ida.
Yeah,
that was funny.
If those stories were relegated to like 1 out of every 10 podcasts, it would be tolerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want something other than just the good old days and how awesome it was every single time.
Yeah. That one was pretty crazy though. They're like, how do you like he sent it to him and like iDubbbz to Anissa somehow. Like, no, he just wanted you to see it. He thought it was funny and he thought you'd think it was. It wasn't a dig at your fucking.
Well, and the thing that got me was like, how would you take that as a dig on Anissa, considering that Donut Operator's wife or girlfriend at the time was doing OnlyFans, apparently.
Yeah,
like,
it was fucking bizarre.
He was just making a joke about OnlyFans. He wasn't even doing anything like to make fun of anyone.
Yeah,
but
had
himself,
nothing
really.
Yeah, so I imagine it was probably AI pissed, not able to think for himself these days.
Here's my suspicion. I don't think iDubbbz likes that his girlfriend does OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I think he's
it
so
does seem like some bullshit.
He pretends to because he knows he'll start a fight otherwise. But I bet you, deep down in his little itty bitty little black heart, he's like, I fucking hate this. I hate my girlfriend doing OnlyFans and shit.
Yeah, I'm so tired of having to. I fucking hate this shit.
Well, like, I wouldn't be okay if my girlfriend was doing OnlyFans. Like, that would be, like, fucking really inappropriate. Like, I would be like, especially if they were wanted to work with other people.
Right.
Like it'd be bad enough if it was just nudes, but if it's I don't know what Anissa does on OnlyFans. I don't know. I've never looked at it.
Yeah, I don't think it's just full nude. I think it's been like tits at the most, and maybe her butt. Yeah, it's odd. Whatever.
From some of the stuff I've seen, what's funny is there are girls who will do OnlyFans who will do like sexy pictures and like lingerie or like bikinis and stuff, and then they'll use a vibrator and come with like their lingerie on or whatever without showing anything, and that's okay. Or they'll blow a guy and that's okay, like till he straight up just like nuts all over their face, but they won't like get naked. And I'm like,
yeah, whatever line they draw.
Yeah, some of the lines are fucking bizarre. You're like, you just masturbated for everybody and their mom to see on the internet. Because like once it's out there forever, and it's not just going to be behind a paywall. It's going to be for free somewhere.
Yeah.
Or you just, sucked this guy's dick until he nutted all over your fucking face. And you're like, that's all over the internet. But you're worried about your titties or your coochie? Like really?
Yeah.
Like do you not see like that's not?
Yeah, that's fucking.
Like there's no difference. I don't know. That's one of those ones I've seen that I'm like I don't understand these people.
That is a very arbitrary line. Fuck.
Yeah. Especially the like using a vibrator one. That's really, really hypersexual. Like, I don't think it matters at that point if you're naked.
Yeah, it's very odd. But in their head, somehow, they're like, I'm not naked. They didn't see my pussy, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. What was it? The video I posted from Cypress CH or whatever, the fucking cartoon girl with shoe on the head, and the handicapped girl, the girl in the fucking wheelchair. That was
they're
mind-numbing.
That was bizarre.
Like, how did the two people not understand that was all projection? Like, neither shoe on head nor the other chick got that was straight up projection. I don't know if you watched the video or not, but
yeah, well, they were making a big deal about her being handicapped, right?
Yeah. It was an anime that was a romance between a college student and a girl who's handicapped in a wheelchair. And everybody was mad and was like, he's using her and he's abusing her and he's only interested in her because she's helpless or something. And I'm like, whoa. She's just in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
she's only like, only her legs are paralyzed. She can still like fucking do things. She's not helpless. But it was really obvious that the people that were making all these terrible comments were projecting. Like, they see
it was their own
handicapped people as useless and worthless. They see them as weak and incapable, and they would take advantage of those people if they could. Like, that was very clear to me from all of the comments. Doing.
Yeah, so it's that kind of narcissism. That must be what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, like narcissists and that, any of those kind of personality disorders, like they don't understand that not everyone thinks like them. Like, they literally think everyone must think like they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and it was like, that's such an obvious case of projection there, where it's like, no, these are terrible people, and this is clearly what they think about people that are handicapped and like in wheelchairs and stuff, and it's pretty gross. Like, yeah, I don't know. That was pretty funny. I thought that was obnoxious. There was a video I considered posting. I forget what it was about, because I didn't finish it. Because it was some VTuber talking about some news story that I hadn't seen anywhere else, and I was like, well, at least the news story's there. But her voice was so fucking obnoxious that I just, after like a minute, had to change the video. It's like, and I considered posting it just for that without any warning. I was like, oh, maybe I should just post that and see if he fucking...
see how far they can make it.
Yeah.
See how far they make it. Oh, yeah. No, actually, no. Fuck, I don't remember the video, but yeah, no, there was another one. I wonder how... I wonder how long they can make watching this. Eddie. So yeah, no, I've definitely considered doing that as well. Like, I'm not gonna tell him, but I'm gonna see if he can get through. If he got through it.
Yeah, that chick was, and all of her takes were good. She had very good takes. She was very intelligent, very well informed, and it was just so unfortunate that her voice was just infuriating. I could not stand her. Oh, what was one of the ones I saw? I saw one of those like video clips with the crazy women clips that you see in some of these channels, where this chick was talking about how she after like the first date, she just requires that they give her a gift, but she doesn't specify.
Yeah, no, that's the same one I was talking about earlier. That's the one I was talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, okay.
50 hours. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, that was different.
Oh, somebody's at my door. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. You.
Yeah. No worries. Right. But yeah, she's like, I don't need flowers.
Oh yeah, I get myself flowers all the time. Yeah. That one was nuts.
Yeah.
There's so many little clips in there that it's hard to remember all the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, that one was, again, she wasn't ugly, but she wasn't particularly attractive. And I'm like, there's guys, like super rich guys, are finding you to be the fucking prize? I find that hard to believe.
I kind of wonder in a lot of those cases if that's just a bunch of bullshit that they're making up.
Yeah.
Like,
most likely.
Like, they're saying that this is what they're doing, but in reality it's not happening. Like, that's not at all happening. It's just bullshit that they're like trying to sound cool for their friends kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I find it hard that chick is managing to even have contact with guys that well. And
I'm sure
managing
she does,
to date her.
Her uvula is probably in a lot of contact with those guys' cocks, but I don't think they're fucking...
Yeah, she doesn't seem like the... she's not the trophy wife type.
She's not the wife, she's not wife material at all. Like, none of them would marry her.
Yeah, she doesn't grasp the fact that the money they're spending on her is essentially...
Well, the kind of guys she's talking about probably don't want to get married at all. Period. Like they probably have zero interest in like any kind of marriage.
Yeah, especially
they just
nowadays.
have so many options constantly all the time.
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever think about getting married if you can just have whoever you want whenever you want? Like, you know, it's not good
but
for
in her
them.
head,
I think they'd be better off if they were in like a stable relationship, but you know.
Right. But now, yeah, in her head, and she's convinced herself that she's the super prize, and she's getting all these super rich guys. But they're really just throwing money at her because they want to fuck her a few times.
And then they got so much, so it's like, why they don't care, you know? Like, oh yeah, if I throw her like a, you know, like a $500 fucking necklace or something, she'll make it worth my while. That's probably what they're thinking. And she's not realizing that, like, maybe the $500 necklace is not really worth it.
Yeah, she hasn't recognized coming close to, you know, proposing to her.
Yeah, those people are so sad. I don't know. Like, it's like I don't have sympathy for them in the respect of like I feel bad for them. I just think it's such like a sad existence to be in. You know what I mean? Like that's gotta be.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man.
Because like sex
it's like,
is great, but it's not the only thing. You know what I mean? Like. There's something to be said for having like a you know a friend and a partner that's like on your side all the time. Like that's not. Yeah.
Indeed, but yeah, I think honestly, I think she's wildly exaggerating.
Oh yeah.
The money and gifts that are being thrown at quality. Value. It's not nearly what she's saying it is.
Yeah, that was funny. I thought that was pretty entertaining. It was just like, come on, man, really? Are we really supposed to believe that this is going on there? Come on
now. But then again, I guess, you know, look at the bitches on Twitch. Like, you know what I mean? They're super popular.
Yeah, you know what's the one, the big one, fucking... The one
like Pokimane is not...
Pokimane, yeah. She's like...
Pokimane is not, you wouldn't pick... you wouldn't even listen a second if you saw her in public. Like, you don't know who she is. She's fucking... You know, she's not ugly, but she's not... She's like a 6, maybe.
Is the kind of girl that like slightly attractive girls hang out with so that they look really attractive.
Yeah, and she's super popular. Denims, I mean, it's a push-up bra. Her tits aren't even actually, they appear to be. She's got a giant head with
she's really
somewhat masculine features.
Dumb.
Dude, yeah. Well, I've told you the story. Like, months after I came away, I'm like, she can't be this stupid. Like, this has to be an act.
Oh, I'm watching
like, it took me
the response to Ethan Klein suing her with Diorio's covering it, like he's watching it, and it's like the stuff she's saying is just so fucking dumb, and it's like,
yeah, it's so ill-advised and so fucking and it just she's just again, like it's.
And also, it's just kind of fucking stupid to respond on the internet at all, you know?
Yeah, at all, yeah.
To a lawsuit. Like, you should just not say anything. Yeah. But if you feel the need to say something, it should be something you've run through an attorney first.
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. Like, the shit she did beforehand, bad enough. Like, she literally called it, labeled the fucking, the stream, and then talked about preventing Ethan from getting the... Like, it's so stupid to fucking do that and say that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so ill-advised.
Oh, yeah.
Again, first... Because, again, I don't know if you noticed that. Pointed out, but Or no, I think Eddie already did. But yeah,
Oh,
literally
yeah.
the
Oh,
live
yeah,
stream
yeah,
is called the watch party.
Well, also, Legal Mindset, the guy who's covering a lot of the Somali and the Vitali and those
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
guys that are
Oh
going to
yeah,
prison across in other countries. He did a video on
yeah.
the denim on the lawsuit video that Ethan put out.
Oh yeah, no,
And
I'm subscribed to him, dude. I saw it.
yeah, and I thought his take on it was pretty good. He's like, "No, that's a pretty good chance that he's going to win." You know, like I can't
Yeah.
say for sure because he's not an expert in that kind of law, and it's like, yeah, I'm not a lawyer, and I would say, yeah, like I don't know for sure, but it seems
It's
like
almost
his
certainly
case
going
is
to
pretty
trial at
fucking
the very
solid.
least. Yeah, like it's not getting thrown out before it goes to trial. Like that's a highly goes to trial.
Oh yeah, they tried to get it thrown out, but that's not happening. No, that's definitely like unfucking likely.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, because again, these bitches are so fucking stupid. And so just arrogant, I guess. I guess that kind of goes. Gotten away with so much shit for so long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they've gotten away with all that stuff for so long with Twitch. Twitch just doesn't fucking hold them accountable.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like, well, I'm pretty untouchable. So
Yeah,
fuck it. Why bother? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I forget. I don't know who it was. It was like they would be so much better off if they had if somebody at Twitch had checked them on the crazy shit they say. But they don't.
Yeah. It's mind blowing.
But yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to trying to my innocent or pretending to innocently ask if targeted because she's a trans woman.
There you go.
Because yeah, I feel like nobody points it out, but like she's got kind of a giant head, right? Like her head's way too big for her body. It's kind of the opposite of Hassan. You know what I mean? And like her features, like the face is not all that pretty, right? Like it's not ugly or anything, but it's semi-masculine in my opinion. So I'm like, I've done it like once. I got a little bit of a reaction, but I'm just like, I literally typed that out. I'm like, I'm wondering, do you think that she's being targeted because she's a trans woman? Afraid to say that? Do you think them afraid to say that? And then people would respond with like, what the hell? Why do you think she's a trans woman? Masculine features face. You know what I mean? Like I'm in comment sections, I'm typing this shit out. So I wish it sounds like these when I some kind of so I could like actually I don't know, would that be evil to do that? To like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like I think this could catch on. Let's make Denim think she's a trans woman. I don't know. I think that would be funny, but that I don't know. What do you think? Would that be a bridge too far?
No, I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh man!
I think it's something that they invite too. Like they're they're so for it. Like clearly this has got to be a compliment. I can't imagine why they would be upset with being referred to as trans. Like they love trans people.
Yeah, why would that be an insult?
Yeah,
that is a pretty good angle.
They should be thrilled.
God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, why are you mad? So yeah, I think although I don't know what was happening, every time I responded, my messages were disappearing. Like my response about her having a masculine face. So I don't know if they were reporting me or what or something. Because I did it like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, why isn't my response not in here? So I type it out again, and then I look like 5 minutes later, and it was gone. So I don't know. Maybe they were reporting me.
Yeah, I have a guideline strike or warning.
Yeah. Do you actually get a notification when that happens?
I did not get a notification.
I've never gotten
I got a guidelines warning.
Oh, okay, but like
but
they
I didn't get
notified you
any
of
kind
it
of
somehow,
notification.
yeah?
I just saw like they wanted me to take like
Oh,
some sort of training thing.
oh wow.
They're like, if you want to take this training thing to make that guidelines warning go away in 90 days, and I was like, fuck you, get out of here.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen like I've definitely gotten the post where they're like, hey, you're not things this like, do you want to post anyway? Yes. So I don't know. I may have gotten some stuff that I'm not aware of, but I've never seen anything where I have any kind of struggle.
Yeah.
But I probably do.
Probably. I don't know, man. Like the stuff with the guideline stuff, I do think they need to address that there's no requirement to tell you exactly what it was you said or did that was wrong.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Like that, I
That is
think needs to be
fucking
resolved.
yeah, yeah. That's absurd to me. That they can say we're not gonna.
We could
You did
take your
something wrong.
money away,
We're not
but we
gonna
don't
point
have
out
to tell
exactly
you
what.
why. We can just take your money away and keep it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
I'd like to not do it again.
Yeah,
I'd
I
like
don't
to.
understand how they still have their protections, because, like, if you listen to Gundam talk about the
Oh,
way
they
his
really
YouTube
fuck with
stuff
that guy.
works is he has to run everything by a person that works for YouTube before he posts it.
Wow.
And it's
That's
like,
fucking
that's clearly editorial.
Yeah.
It's clearly
Yeah.
editorial, and he is told what he is allowed and what he is not allowed to post up there if he wants monetization. And it's like, no, that's not removing hate speech or whatever, which is also bullshit anyway. I don't think that's an
Yeah, that is
excuse or
clearly.
something that they need to do at all.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
clearly acting as an editor. Yeah. Or a censor, even.
yeah. Well, it's direct censorship. Yeah, it's like
Effectively.
no question.
Yeah, I was going to say, effectively, it is absolutely censorship.
Yeah. Well, effectively, it is literal censorship. Like
Yeah,
he's not allowed to
yeah.
talk about Susan Wojcicki if he wants to get his video monetized. There's certain words he's not allowed to use. He's not allowed to make certain points. And he's talked about it in his little podcast and in some of his videos and stuff. And it's like, that right there should be enough to nullify their protections from the law. Like right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that, and I genuinely think that the streaming companies should be liable for damages for the streamers that they keep allowing to come back who keep committing crimes to
Right.
make money on streams.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you keep letting somebody like Vitaly go out and harass and literally violate the law to entertain his audience, to make money, and you're making money off of those donations, you're taking your cut, then I think that the victims should be
you're
able
part
to
of the
sue
culpable.
you as well as Vitaly for compensation.
Yeah. 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 Or even like Twitch with letting the protests.
You broke up on there.
You
You
know?
said Twitch for letting something, and then I
Oh,
didn't get anything else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for Hassan being allowed to be
Oh, yeah.
from the illegal protest, dude.
Yeah.
All right. All
He
right.
had like.
I've got a video about Mr. Beast being exposed again. Sorry, I'm done talking this in real quick, but do you know anything about the Mr. Beast allegedly again? The video just got posted like a half an hour ago, so I haven't watched. Here, I'm gonna post it.
I haven't heard anything about Mr. Beast other than the one guy who was mad because he got fired.
Oh, yeah, the Jake Webb.
The Jake Whittle.
Oh, yeah.
Whittle Jake.
Dude, I'd still check on his girlfriend every once in a while. Fucking psychotic that he got like, way after the fact. Remember that? Yeah, the one that like was shutting out when
I remember his girlfriend being like pretty fucking bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was that time he was going on a live stream, and he was still. He had gone up and hung out with her for days. She's a crazy bitch, so she ended up like kicking. But she was still logged in. He was still logged in on her computer and all his shit. So like when he was going into the Discord to try to join live streams, she was literally like fucking logging him out from her computer because he was still logged in and then trying to change his passwords and all kinds of crazy shit like that because he was still, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's funny because she was talking about how her roommates are like they're all crazy, you know. It sounds like everyone you come across, the relationships are never long. So I feel like you're probably the problem.
Oh, that's one of those things. Like every one of those clips that you see from these, like the manosphere guys. I feel like that's an appropriate way of like looking at them, right? Like they're the manosphere guys. Like that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah. Sure.
Almost every clip you ever see with these chicks, like a lot of them are talking about like, well, you know, I nothing ever, like all the guys are bad. I never meet any good guys. Blah blah blah. And then like, and it's always like all men are bad or something. And it's like, no, if it's ever all X are bad, you're the problem. Like, I don't care if it's men or women. If you're like all women are evil, it's like, no, you're the problem, buddy. It's like, sorry. It's like there are nice women out there. Like there's not, like they're not all like horrible like whores and stuff. Like that's just not reality. Just like, you know, not all guys are evil rapists, you know.
Right.
It's like if you ever say
how much
all this or all that, it's usually because you're the problem.
Yeah. You're.
And it might be a situation where you're the problem and you're dating, or like not you specifically, but obviously, but like they're the problem and they're just picking terrible people to date like constantly.
Right.
That's what I think is the case. Is a lot of these people just
or they're dating perfectly normal people. It's always
sometimes, like, but a lot of these women, the way they're talking about it, it's like
they're usually going to be attracted to crazy people. Yeah, in those situations.
Most of the time,
I forgot how much.
Like all men are this, or all men are that, or all women are this, or all women are that. It's the person themselves that is clearly the issue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyway, no.
You just
I forgot how much of a
me after like no.
Oh shit! Sorry. Yeah, I've already forgot what I said. I was looking up the picture of Lex. I forgot how much of it. Like she looks like a dude. Like she definitely looks like a trans woman, and apparently she's not.
Yeah, so I've given up trying to figure that shit out a long time ago. Like, I don't care. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's not like I'll never know for sure. In a lot of those cases,
hitting her with it, and it was funny to hear her talk about it because they're so saying you look like somebody that was born a dude. That's why they're saying it. I mean, they're doing it to be, but you also look like a fucking a trans woman. That's why they're saying it. Yeah, you're exceptionally ugly. I'm sorry. You're exceptionally ugly and you look like a dude.
I went, there was a girl I knew when I was dancing who was not particularly attractive. She kind of had a very, like, masculine face, but I gotta say, when she smiled, she actually looked pretty pretty. You know, like, it was very interesting to see, like, the more pleasant a person is, the more attractive they are in general. Just like, no matter the physical level of attractiveness, like you're starting with like a base reality.
Indeed. Yeah.
Either way, though, my dinner is ready and I gotta pee. So
I was gonna say we should probably cut it. I think we're done here.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to go over. We covered all the news.
Indeed. So for everybody not listening,